What is this game called?
Dead by Daylight. I still can't believe we got this to work.
No boomers over here, dog.
I'm trying to figure out if there's gonna be an audio delay on our voices to our faces. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going through
Probably
Discord
a little
instead
bit.
of the yeah.
I don't know. I don't know because I stream Discord all the time with that Sunday service thing, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
never there's none there. So this is the same concept. It's just through a different source. You know what I mean? I'll just
Yes,
ask
sir.
the chatters.
Chat says it looks good.
Chat says it looks good. They can hear me
Alert, it
fine. They can
looks
hear you
like.
fine.
I believe so.
I hear. Gotta. Oh, hold on before we
Oh, my camera's reversed.
What does that mean?
Like I'm flipped. I mean,
How would they know
I
that?
still look normal because the dudes that watch it normally know this shit's on the other side.
That's an intense fan base right there. Fam, that mole is usually.
No, I'm saying like if okay, you got that fucking badass stuff behind you, right? Wait, by the way, is that a green screen?
No, this is actually like these are nano leaves, and then this is a painting.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Word. All right. Chat, we're trying to figure out why I look like a heroin addict and this is the only character I'm allowed to pick. And all I can do is like take off this heroin addict beanie so that her heroin hair is free to flow. I don't know why this is.
Hey, your Twitter just at Ross Bolen.
At Boss Roland, the opposite of Ross
Boss,
Bolen, or in the B reverse.
Boss rolling.
Yeah. Used to be my Twitter handle before I changed it because I thought that I needed to look like more adult and official. Turned out I didn't need to.
Never, bro. Never do you need to be more official.
No, 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 you don't. This was a younger version of me.
I hear that.
Chad, how we looking?
Yo,
Everything
what's
look
going
good?
on, chat?
Everything look good on my end?
Appreciate the sub, Struck. Much love, much love, much love. All right, dog.
That's my dude, Struck. All right, I'm just gonna look like this, I guess.
Hold on, let me bring this up.
At least I got our shirts sort of matching. I got some red in there.
Hold on, okay, where is this? There we go.
Chat, y'all go over there and throw him some love. Follow Bobby at Bobby Feeno, otherwise known as Arian Foster. We got
That's
the
what I need.
look at the technology our old asses were able to
All right, say something, bro.
accomplish here. What's up? What's up? What's up?
All right, I think we good. Yep.
Tariq, is it working for you?
Real quick.
You beat your sister. That's how you catch a band, bruh. That's how you catch a band. People are complimenting your studio.
It's not bad, man. Oh, I think it froze over here. Hold on. There we go. I got it. All right, man. I think we are good to go.
Okay, let me figure out what I press here.
Chat, can y'all hear Ross? Yeah, let me know if y'all can hear Ross. This is the first time I've done any dual stream with the multiple cameras set up.
Okay, I don't have to be a little girl.
How'd you change?
Top left, click survivors. There's still no black people, but oh wait, yes there is a black lady.
I'm her.
It's Claudette.
I'm her. Oh, but I can't get her yet. No, all I have is the heroin addict, David King, and yeah, I can't get the black dude yet.
Why the
Wait,
fuck?
can I?
Dude, I have 6 people.
Oh, I could buy him, but I don't think it's that crucial yet. Oh wait, yes I can. Yeah, let me get Claudette.
My dude is wearing a military Christmas sweater and smoking a cigarette.
No, these are you have to buy these.
Dude, I swear, just let me pick one. I didn't pay for that. I hope I didn't pay for something unknowingly.
Yeah, you picked this guy, right? Yeah, there's like 3 lit up or 4 lit up. It's cool. I'll be this dude.
Oh, you gotta scroll up 1 level. Scroll up 1 level. When you're in there on the survivors.
Ooh. Okay, Claudette. Let's do that. Let's do Claudette.
All right, man. I'm gonna press ready. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna be doing, but
Yeah.
Chad, neither of us have ever played this game before. I played on PS4 like for 10 minutes back in the day, very high, and I don't remember what happened.
Not me, man. Let me turn down this. How's the main volume for y'all, man?
He's not a push to talk guy.
Alright.
I'm a push to
I
talk
think
guy.
that's good.
So I can talk to y'all without having to talk, without him having to be annoyed by me.
Good. I think we're good.
Alright, bottom right, hit ready.
Ready, rock?
Yeah, and we'll see what happens.
Alright, my dog, here we go.
So here's what I know. We're running around, there's a serial killer looking for us, and we have to power up generators to escape the area, like so a gate opens or some shit. That's about all I know.
I'm glad you told me, because nigga, I had no idea.
I'm telling you, and it's fucked up. Like, oh shit, so we're gonna be with like 2 random people also.
Oh, where?
Apparently. Oh, we gotta click ready again?
Hold on, why they leaving the black lady out, bro?
Dude, this is just the noise alone. It's a horror movie. Our poor teammates got no idea that we have no idea.
I hope. I hope so. Let's see. Oh, I got a typo in the title. Oh, shit. That's par for the course, though, bro.
The doctor inflicts madness on his victims using a static blast and shock therapy attacks. There are 3 levels of madness. What the fuck is this game, dude? Oh,
bang.
Hell nah.
There we go.
Oh, this is gonna be fucked up.
Oh, this is not. Where you at, bro?
I see you. Oh shit. So we just hide? I hear some. Oh, this person's working on this generator. I'm gonna follow this lady around, man. She seems to know what she's doing.
My dude over here just took off.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh no, I'm about to get murdered, bro. What the?
What happened, bro?
Oh, I'm being murdered by the serial killer.
What is this?
M1.
Bro, I don't know what to do.
I'm recovering somehow.
Okay, shift is run.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what the fuck is this?
Uh-oh. Oh no, he's coming back to get my ass. No, man, leave me alone. Uh-oh.
I think a tutorial would have been in order. This feel like the thriller set.
Oh! Oh, dude, he just stuck me on a hook.
Oh, shit. Are you dead?
No, I'm trying to escape this hook. Oh, one of our teammates just pulled me off.
What's screaming? What?
Have you not seen the serial killer yet?
I saw him, yeah.
What the fuck? How come this chick has a toolbox? Oh, one of our teammates just got stuck.
I mean, I wish I knew like an objective.
So there's little generators around the map. Oh shit, that guy's coming for y'all.
Oh, there the nigga is.
Yeah, he's coming for y'all. Or me.
Bro.
Oh no!
Well, where did they get the tools from?
I have no idea. How do you sprint? How the fuck do you sprint? Fuck! What the fuck? Wiggle. Oh. Bro.
M1? Oh, mouse clicking.
Oh. Dude, he's feeding me to a giant spider. Oh man, I just got absolutely eaten.
This takes so long. I think I'm fucking this up.
Are you working on the generator?
Yeah.
I died. Chat, what is this game?
Oh, look at that.
What is this though? Like what the fuck?
Bruh.
The Colorado place to go, what's up? Yeah, I didn't get far there.
This is morbid as shit.
Did you survive? Are you still in there? It pulled me out all the way back to the damn main menu. I'm that dead.
Yeah. I died. Okay, I just saw the giant spider face.
Yeah, it ate me. That whole thing fucking ate me.
Match result sacrificed. Okay, not bad for a first run.
What the shit? Anyway. What the fuck, man? How have you been?
When you're on a hook, somebody said. Do y'all need any help? Yeah, we need help. I don't know how to play this shit. Anybody on that knows what they're doing? They was probably trying to talk to us and stuff.
Same thing applies on our side. If any of y'all play this game, by all means, for the love of God. Yo, did you download The Forest, that other game, too?
I did not download The Forest.
It's also on Steam. We already got people bringing it up in chat.
The Forest?
Based on our first performance in this fucking one.
I'm down to try it, man, because was...
Hit ready again, and we'll do one more of these and see what...
Okay, we'll do one more.
What the fuck.
Alright, bet.
Alright, so when's your new music coming out?
So it's in the,
I'm listening to that same song over and over for like a month now.
Oh, you go back to the stream or you just recorded it?
Nah, you texted me that shit.
I did text you, my bad. I mean, I wouldn't have cared either way. We're in the last mixing stages, and I'm super hype about it, man. So, we're looking at about a month now.
I've played it for a couple of people, and both of them were like, God damn. Two people who had never heard you rap or do music before.
That's love. That's love. Nah, it's fun, man. It's this is definitely gonna be my best work, man. Oh, ready up. I'm gonna tell this dude I have no clue what I'm doing.
They're gonna bounce, watch.
Huh?
They're gonna unready and bounce.
Right.
Alright, we got the heroin addict on our squad, an old man that looks like he was in Vietnam.
And a lunch lady.
And the lunch lady.
So 5 generators looks like, and an electrical box. But it's like when I was doing the generators, like it like wasn't going all the way.
So I think as you're operating the generator, shit pops up and tells you to press different buttons to do it faster or slower, if I'm not mistaken. I think I watched like 2 minutes of that video, that YouTube video I tried to send you. We just didn't have time to like sit there and fucking research.
All right, bet. Here we go. New day. Let's get it.
All right, how do you sprint? That's the first thing we need to figure out. Yo, there's like a bunch of cows and already corpses hanging from the sky. And I am very alone. Chad, how do you run? You don't think I tried shift?
Oh, is it? My nigga didn't tell me nothing. He just took off.
My guy's heart's starting to beat faster.
Yeah,
that can't be good.
Dog.
Alright, I found a generator. I'm repairing a generator. Oh shit! Yo, he is carrying another person and just came and like sliced me up.
Nigga. They told me not to escape on the hook, so.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be on that hook. I'm trying to help this dude repair.
They told me not to escape though.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh. I got,
My dog, appreciate you. Somebody came and got me.
Dude, after you start repairing it, if he catches you, he kicks it and breaks it off again. Oh, I'm on a hook. My dude looks tight though. He's got the Christmas sweater going. Oh, shit. Yo, this is a nightmare. Run! Run, lady! Run!
I almost got
I see you back there working. Oh, we got problems. Well, he's distracted over here with us. You should be good for now.
I think I almost got this one, bro.
This guy's trying to pick me up, but the serial killer's running. Oh, shit. This is gonna be a close call. Oh.
I got you, James. I got you.
I'm trying to wiggle my way out of this hellhole.
I almost got one, bro.
Oh my god, wiggled, nothing happened, wiggled didn't do shit. Wiggled didn't do, oh, what the fuck?
Come on, okay.
I'm being eaten by a spider again. Not great, not great.
I got it, bro. I got one, dog.
Oh, come on, survive, old man. Show a little fight. Show a little fight, old man. Yes!
I got you, kid.
Oh my god. Oh no, he's here. Ah!
Damn, this nigga.
Oh god.
Man, if she wasn't so gimpy, we could get away with some of this shit. Oh, he's still chasing. Oh, he's still chasing.
I'm healing.
Bob and weave, nigga. Bob and weave. Oh, he got me.
Fuck this guy.
He got me. He got me, bro. Oh.
Oh, I put you on the hook. All right, I'm getting up. I'm gonna come. Oh wait, now I gotta find help. What?
Hold on, I got it.
Thank you, Gambrinus.
Yep, spider food.
Yeah, I got ate by a spider.
Oh, you the only one alive.
Nah, man, I'm being taken up into a spider's nest as we speak.
Oh. So what was that other one? The forest you said?
Yeah.
All right, let me try that one.
All right. In the meantime, I'm gonna make those big.
All right, let me Bam. All right, so I'm downloading that, man. We can catch up. That was an intense start.
Yo, what the shit? All right, I'm getting out of this game. Can't handle the scary ass background noise. While you download that, I'm gonna make us big so we can talk.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. Boom. All right, it's just me and you now. We good.
So what else has been up, man? You watching any of these bubble sports?
Oh yeah. I mean, but you said I'm a little low. You said me or him? Okay, it's him. Okay, I got you. That means it's my fault because I control that.
Turn my snare up.
Got you. All right, say something now.
Check, check. Is that better for y'all?
I think he should be good now. Yeah, all right. They saying you good now.
Nice. You watched any of the NBA or MLB games?
Perfect. Wait, hold on. Where'd you go? Can y'all still see him? What the fuck? Oh, now you disappeared, bro. What the fuck?
Oh, you murdered my face?
I murdered your face, son.
It's in par with what that other game had going on.
All right, hold on. I'll bring it back up. I'll bring it back up. So while we waiting for the technical difficulties, which I promised myself I wouldn't do. Hold on, I got you, Chad. I got you.
It's a common occurrence. Chad, how are y'all doing tonight?
Well,
if you're not familiar with Arian Foster, it's Arian Foster, former Texans running back. Now he's a
should work.
Father,
Bam.
musician.
There we go.
Known as Bobby Feeno.
Y'all should have it now, huh?
He makes great music. Y'all got my face back?
Bang. You good money now, bro. Now you good money. All right, so yeah, so the bubble games, man. I have definitely been watching the bubble games, just because I never thought like seeing sports has been a fun moment. Like just seeing it like some semblance of normalcy has popped back up.
The one thing I'll say is watching NBA games, they have an incredible setup.
Yes.
It does not take me out of the game at all. Watching MLB with nobody in the stands, it takes away like the gravity of the game. Like I don't feel like it's important.
You talking about baseball?
Yeah.
It
has definitely taken something away from the baseball side for me.
I haven't watched baseball just because I'm not like a baseball fan, but like for me, it feels like I don't know, it just feels genuine. Like they're out there playing to play. Yeah, I don't know, it feels
no
really
frill.
genuine. It brings me back.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, man. I'm enjoying it.
This shit is crazy though. It is far and away. I mean, when all this started up, beginning of the year, into last year, whatever, nobody thought that come August we'd be watching the NBA operate in a giant bubble. Baseball with no fans in the stands. And
No,
like do you think there's legitimately going to be an NFL season though?
No.
I don't understand how they pull this off.
I don't see it at all, actually.
Because you can't bubble the whole NFL.
Well, you could. It would just take a concerted effort. Like everybody would have to be in and buy in.
There's too many people though on each team.
A lot of people. Yeah, I mean, it like I think about it like if I was in the league, like it would have to be like we would have to have like a mass meeting as players. Like, is this something that we want to risk? And if we do want to risk it, we all got to buy in. Like, we got to be on the same page because we're affecting each other's, not just each other's health, but the health of our families. And so, like, for players that are opting out, I understand that shit because, like, from what we know about it so far, right? And it's still all new, but from what we know about it so far, you can, if you're relatively healthy, you can get away with getting it and you'll recover.
Right.
But there are people who don't have that luxury, and some of those people might be in your family. So, is it worth the risk?
And
I
I
don't.
mean, the question these guys are having to ask too is like, if it's not over this year, and I'm asking myself the same question next year, does it change the answer?
And that's the thing. And so that, and to me, that's why we have to be patient in general. But it's just not an easy thing to navigate.
Yeah.
And so it's why, like, on Twitter, there's this one dude who was like, um, uh, don't players opting out? Doesn't that mean, or don't they realize that they're they're at more risk staying at home than they are at their house? And I'm like,
What?
that's a horrible take. That's a horrible take. And he's like, where's the factual evidence in this
Mm-hmm.
rebuttal? I'm like, your fucking last sentence rebutted it because his last sentence was that's if they don't leave the house. And I'm like, nigga, no shit. But it's like people are really criticizing people for opting out, for having the option to be like, nah, bro, like this is a thing, and I'm going to treat it as such.
Yeah, but you got to know sports fans are like the most illogical human beings on the face of the earth at this point.
It's just petty though. It's like on some petty like.
Well, that's the thing is like, dude, I have, you know, multiple people I know who don't take it serious. Who,
Really?
yeah, for them, they're like, no, fuck this. It's not real. It's a conspiracy.
What do you say? How does that conversation go? Like,
It's
what is that
not
conversation
good.
like?
It's resulted in like a whole lot of conflict.
Right.
Because here's the thing, like, what we have found about this is that it doesn't take, if like my ass has been stuck indoors since fucking I don't even know, right?
Same.
But if everybody else is out running around and shit, like I went and picked up food the other night from a restaurant and the place was packed. Like people were
Mm-hmm.
everywhere in the parking lot. Nobody had masks on. It was like, well, if I'm doing this shit, but nobody else is,
Yeah.
then it's still not gonna get fixed, and I'm in the house for no goddamn reason. And that's the
No,
problem is more and more people keep thinking that way, and it's like then more and more people are going out and doing shit, and it just keeps getting.
and see, and to me, this is the major fail of like the Trump administration. It's not let's get all political, but what isn't political? But the major fail is like, yeah, they fucked up like on a policy level as far as like implementation, um, as far as dropping the ball on calling it a hoax, like all that shit, right? But the main thing to me that they fucked up was setting the example. Because let's say you don't even believe it's a thing. If you set the example of like, we don't think that this is going to cause true harm to the American people, but just in case it is, this is the protocol, and we're also following protocol. It's a smart thing to do, but because they didn't, they had the fan base, right? And then subsequently, you have the conspiracy theories that sprout. Remember the 5G one? that shit was rampant for a while. I had one of the homies that was really like, bro, you really need to look into this. And I was like, I don't need to look into that. I
Yo,
promise.
I had
He's
somebody
like, no, though.
made me watch the Out of Shadows documentary. In the first half hour, it's like the one on YouTube that you can't even Google it. You got to be sent a link. And the first half hour of the fucking thing was two stuntmen talking about their stunt careers in Hollywood, and like no
Yeah,
amount of weed could get me through it. I was like, I'm done.
yeah, yeah. Nah, I mean, I I treat it with like caution. Like because I try to like, all right, if it has people's attention, I have to pay attention to it. Just in case, I have to like, okay, let me show you why this is bullshit, right? And so like with the 5G one was hilarious. And I went through it with my dude. I was like, all right, let's watch it, bro. Let's watch it. So we sat there and I watched the shit. And I like point by point, I pointed out, okay, this is bullshit. You know why this is bullshit? And then like we Googled a site and like we started to like fact check all of this shit. And so we started to fact check, and like one point by point, I'm like, you see that, you see why this is bullshit. You see what, and then like, after a while, it came apparent to me that it doesn't matter what you say to them because it's like they have their confirmation bias, and it's just like, yo, this is the truth, and it's just
Yeah,
like, what are you gonna do?
that's the thing I'm really struggling with at this point is like I mean and that applies to politics sort of across the board, man. There's not really a
It does.
conversation to be had anymore. It's just you're either on
Mm-hmm.
this side or that side and fuck everybody on the other side and it's like,
Yeah.
well, that's why I have a hard time with like the take that, you know, gets thrown out a lot. Like all Trump voters are racist and it's like, okay, well even if you believe that, that's fine. But don't say it because you're just furthering the divide. You're not actually like just from being a white dude who knows a lot of white people who voted for Donald Trump. Like when you yell all Trump people are racist, it those dudes who you may have been able to talk into the middle, now they're on the defensive and they don't want to talk anymore and they're pushing away and they're back to the same bullshit and it sucks.
Yeah, and see that's one of the problems I have is like if because like if he's doing blatantly racist shit,
Yes, which he is, but a lot of presidents have.
I would argue all presidents are racist
You could very easily argue that.
except for maybe Obama. And I'm not an Obama fan, by the way, but the issue is like in order to combat anything like that, like you have to call it out. And so the issue with racists today is like they don't think they're racist. And
Right.
so unless like you calling somebody a nigger or like some, you know what I mean, something crazy, to them you're not racist. Like there's no, that's racist. They look at like I don't wear a white hat. I'm not that, so that's not racist. And so like they don't understand the nuances of how racism has evolved and how racism affects day to day life. And so, uh, somebody once asked me on a podcast, was Trump racist? And I'm like, like to answer that honestly, in the short answer, yes. Do I have like any kind of evidence empirically that would without a doubt point out that he was racist? No, I don't. And you don't, there isn't any. All you can do is point up behavior over time and infer. And that's kind of how it works in America, though. But you're right,
Yeah,
it does further the divide, but I'm on the fence about that. I've been like, fuck them if it divides them further.
but
Like,
here's the problem. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You just spoke to the nuance of it, right? And for white people, especially white people who grew up with means and did not at any point experience what life is like for black people in America, that have no reason to understand it or know it, and it's not really a thing you can like unless you know enough black people, it's not something that really hits for you. You
right.
unless you have enough life experience and you've seen enough shit, heard enough stories, read enough stories, watched enough stories, then you can't really grasp it. And you get like for me, if this had happened when I was like 23 years old, I wouldn't have been able to wrap my head around it the way I can
Right.
at 33 years old. And the part that I hate about that divide being furthered is it takes away the opportunity for conversations that could happen. So, like you just spoke to the nuances of it. Well, once you've yelled at somebody that if they voted for Trump, they're a racist, you're not getting to have the conversations about the nuance that I think closed the divide because it was like this is the George Floyd killing for me was the first time that a lot of this shit started to click in my white head, right? Like to where because I'm serious, dude. Like because it
No,
took
no, no.
X amount of things to happen before I was like, oh my god, it's not about this one dude, right? It's not about like trying to say like when a lot of people white people hear Black Lives Matter and they want to yell all lives matter back, right? Or say like, well, why are we saying only Black Lives Matter? Get defensive. You're looking at it from the whole wrong perspective. It's like the entire black experience in America is completely different from the white experience in America. And until you
Yeah.
have enough of an understanding of that, you can't grasp what's happening. And so this was the first time for me, dead honestly, that all clicked in a way that I was able to see like holy shit, like the big picture just opened up and I was like, okay, I get
Right.
it. From birth, it is a completely different struggle to be a black person in America than a white person. You encounter a endless number of obstacles that do not exist for white people with means in particular. Now,
Mm.
I realize that there are white people who grow up in specific areas that might encounter some of those same obstacles, but it's still not the same because of the color of your skin.
Right.
And I never had I guess I don't know if it was just enough life experience or enough like killing enough of my own ego or what it took for me, but I finally got to a place where I was able to look at it and see like, okay, fuck. And that's when I started trying to have these difficult
This is the shitty
conversations
part.
with
This is
my
the
white.
shitty
Yeah,
part,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I mean, this is the shitty part. I feel shitty that I have to point this out,
Not no,
but this is the fact. It took somebody being murdered for you to understand.
and more than that, it took somebody. I mean, because that's if it was just that, then it would have happened. The first one of these cops killing a black person for seemingly no reason that we saw years ago.
Right.
But it was that like that individual instance I can understand as wrong as just like a relatively morally sound individual. I'm not down
Right.
with murder or cops really killing anybody for fucking most reasons, much less little to no reason.
Right.
But having an understanding of the whole picture
Yeah.
of why that what that murder, what that killing, what that means to black people and
Right.
why it is so impactful and infuriating and why it results in protesting and rioting and all of the things we see, that shit had not fully clicked for me. And it
Right.
is, and then that is a result of like
Yeah.
it just generally being ignorant. It's an
Yeah.
ignorance issue. You know what I'm
And
saying?
so a distinction like I love to make, or I always harp on to people is like when you talk about ignorance, it carries a negative connotation with it. But all it just means is lack of knowledge. And so people are afraid of being ignorant about things. But we're all ignorant about a lot of things. The majority of shit we're all ignorant about. And so for you to admit that is like to me, it's like that's what humility is. It's like I don't know about this experience. I don't know about this, but I'm open enough to listen and learn. And that's the thing that bothers me most is like the the opposition
Mm.
to that position is often met with, well, let's look at the data, right? And then when you look at the data, they skew the data first and foremost. But even and a deeper point, I make this point all the time when you talk about like cats like Ben Shapiro, because like for some reason he's like heralded as like an intellect of the right wing, and I don't understand the shit at all because he says the stupidest shit on a consistent basis. But um, his
I
his
hate I
his
hate
mon-
that fucking guy so much. Just his
it's insane.
face, his
His
voice.
it's,
I
it's like a
can't. I
little Mighty Mouse that ain't going. But his moniker is facts over feelings, right? It's like, well, the facts don't. Well, if you look at the data, well, white people are killed more than like that kind of shit, right? But it's like you can't like this is like my it's not necessarily a rebuttal, but this is why I try to explain to people who are at least on the fence. Because if you're like a hard right wing staunch Ben Shapiro fan, like you're not gonna hear this. Like you're not gonna listen to me, and I'm okay with that. It is what it is. But if you're somebody who's like, let me hear you out. Like, what do you have to say? What I tell them is like, okay, how do you quantify all social interactions? Like, explain to me the quantifiable structure in this. If I have a run in with the example I always give, I've had many run-ins with the police, right? But the example that always strikes home to me is this: I was driving me and my father, and we was going from San Diego to Los Angeles, and officer pulled us over, and he told my dad, he said, "Get out of the car." And he said, "Officer, why'd you pull me over?" He said, "Get out of the car." And he looked at me and said, "Son, just do what he says." I said, "Okay." First, that's one thing. Like we have to like there was mad conversations in my household on how to deal with the police. That is a dynamic that you probably never really had to deal with. Like when you
not
get pulled
no.
over, this is how you act. Like you do this, you do this, you do not raise your hands. You do. That's a conversation we have to have in our homes. But anyway, so he looked at me and said, "Son, do what he says." He pulled us out of the car, and he came around and said, "You two get out of the car." Got out of the car. So his father and the son, we sitting on the curb on a highway. He said, "Open the trunk." He said, "Officer, why did you pull me over?" He said, "Open the trunk." He was just real like forceful, dog. And I remember this shit vividly. And so he opened the trunk, and we had all our stuff because we were staying for the weekend at my grandfather's house, R.I.P. So he pulled out all of our shit. This is illegal. He pulled out all of our shit. He pulled out everything, all the clothes, all the everything. Didn't find what he was looking for. He said, "Hey, y'all have a nice day." Got in his car and drove off. Now here's a father and a son on the side of a road humiliating I'm 33, so at the time my dad was like 42, something like that. As a 42-year-old man, 40-year-old man with his teenage son, now you have to put all your clothes back
Mm-hmm.
into a trunk. It's just it's dehumanizing, it's humiliating. And so do I report him to the police? And I'm sure if I report him to the you got police officers getting off for murder. You think if I report him to the police station and got his badge number, you think it would have gave me his badge number one, but if I report him, there's anything that's gonna happen from there? No, nigga. Hell no. And so the issue is how many instances like that go unreported
And I'm saying,
all the time?
so
And
that's
so
the
my
nuance, though,
response to
right?
those people, huh?
That's the nuance, though. That's the part that I'm
Well,
saying, like, I
this
don't
is
think
what I
that
try to tell them
clicks.
is, yeah, what I try to tell them is like, how is that quantifiable? What data point do you pull that up in? Where is your data on that? You cannot. And this is why the social science is not physics. Social science is not biology. Social science is social science. And so a main component of social science is anecdotes. You have to listen to people's stories. And there's a reason why in 1970, Marvin Gaye had a song called Inner City Blues. And he has a line in there. He says, trigger happy polices. We've been saying that since the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, all over until now. So either we're all fucking crazy or there's actually something going on. And you can decide for yourself, but this is what we have to deal with. And there's no set of data points that can disprove how a community feels. There just isn't. And so, and if I was the opposition, or if I was a police officer, or if I really cared to back the blue, what I would do is I would honestly and truthfully try to make amends with communities. Like I would try to have a good standing within those communities because there isn't a good feeling between those communities and police officers. When I hear police officers, I don't. There's not a fuzzy, warm feeling of back to blue. It never has been. Never. Even when I was a child, we were like, "Yo, fuck them," because I've seen them rough up my boys. I've seen them rough up my sister. I've seen them rough up my father. I've seen they rough me up. I've seen this shit constantly, and so it's like I don't have a good feeling when I hear about police. So it's like they have to do like community outreach. They have to like restore good feeling in our communities.
You spoke to something on when you did Pardon My Take. Um, you said that you explained how black people typically don't have the same warm fuzzy feeling that you just described for officers in blue. Same with the flag, right?
Yeah.
And that's another piece of the puzzle that didn't click for me pre 2020, dude. That of course it doesn't hit the same way. Why the fuck would it? There's absolutely no reason for it to hit black people the same way it hits white people. And typically, I mean, the way I tried to explain it on my show is like America was built for white, straight, or at the very least closeted Christian men.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up all three of those things. Pretty much fucking impossible for me, or at least it took me forever to get to a point where I could understand, like, okay, the way I see the world and the way the world sees me is not the same for everybody. Like, it's just a total lack of perspective. That's what it is. It's like, and you can't gain that perspective without enough conversations and stories, like you just said. No data points are going to help because you can't put a life into numbers like that. And then you can't take an entire community of people and all their experiences and, like you're saying, make them make sense in numbers because it's just not how it works. So until it like clicks to you that it's not about this one thing or this one killing or this
Right.
one riot, it's about hundreds and hundreds of years of experiences stacked on top of each other. Then you have to say, okay, so what do you just like what you just said? So you're telling me if like for when I talk to people who are just like, oh, this is bullshit. I'm like, so you're telling me every single black person in America that's upset right now is lying? That they're lying? Do you think this is
Right.
it's some kind of game? Like it's a and
But
seriously,
it is
there's
to them though. It is to them though, because they don't experience it. And so I was having a conversation earlier today on my stream talking about transgender issues, and I don't know the first thing about that shit. Like because I'm not a transgender person, and I don't know any transgender persons personally. Like it's not like I can't call somebody like and be like, "Yo, what do you feel about this?" I just don't. It's not my bag. And so I saw a demographic of people, and not to liken LGBT issues to race issues because I think they're very different. But it's analogous in a situation where it's like I was unaware of the plight. I don't understand the nuances in it, and so I hear people struggling. I hear people saying, "Yo, this is what it is, and this is how we feel, and we don't feel like we're being treated fairly." I can relate to that. I don't know enough about it, and I don't know that I ever will. But all I know is I know how to be an ally. I know how to be empathetic. I know how to say, okay, you're hurting. Let me do my part, and so that you don't hurt anymore, because it doesn't change my day. If you were born a man or a woman and you feel like it's something else, or however they phrase it correctly, and no disrespect, I just don't know how to phrase it in the politically correct term, but uh, and you want to be addressed a certain way, that's not going to change my day. I will call you what you want. And really, that's I learned that young because I grew up in the uh, fruit of Islam, the Nation of Islam, and so a lot of brothers used to change their names. So like Muhammad Ali,
Right.
you call Cassius Clay. And so one of the box, I forget who it was, but he was like, his mama called him Cassius. I'm gonna call him Cassius, and he was like, I'm gonna beat you until you make me call, till you say what my name is, and I'm gonna make you call me Muhammad Ali. And so it's like that man wanted to be addressed as Muhammad Ali, right? If this man wants to be dressed as a man or a woman or whatever the case may be, call him that. It's about diplomacy, and this is my real issue with people in America is everybody always screams peace. Everybody always talks about how they want peace and how the world is fucked up and the world's going crazy, but you don't practice peace in your life. Little shit like this, like you don't practice that shit. Peace is a practice. It is not some. It's not a destination. It's you wake up every day and you practice that shit, and it's hard, and there's sacrifices, and you have to give ground and you have to get ground in order to get some kind of peace, and we're all struggling for that kind of peace. And that's my problem with people is like they're like so uncomfortable with who they are, in my opinion, that they won't sacrifice any part of themselves in order to make anybody's lives any bit better. And that's the real issue.
That's a huge, huge part of the problem on the white side. Is it? I mean, the strong majority of white people I know have had very comfortable, cushy lives their whole fucking existence, and just like I have, and they worry that any type of change, any type of disruption, will take that away. That they will lose their lifestyle, they will lose their cushy, easy road, or that if anything fucks with that, and that's where you get the shit like, oh, we don't want Democrats in office because our taxes are gonna go up. Motherfucker, you have never
Your
noticed.
taxes are.
I mean, but you would never know. Like, all right, nobody in upper middle class America, realistically, like as somebody who now makes good enough money to know, I would never fucking notice 2%, bro. Ever.
Right.
I don't make enough money to know. I'm not a billionaire, and up until you get to
Right.
that point where you're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars, then I get like, okay, 2% starts to look like a big number, but it's all relative. And I don't give a fuck. What I give a fuck about is where they spend that money. And both sides are
Right.
trash at that right now. But it's like they find these little things to cling to. Okay, like the tax
Yeah.
break shit, the tax shit. Republicans will get, we get to keep more money. The economy will be better, and then that's all they fixate on. And it's
Yeah.
just about that. And if anything
It's
disrupts
hard.
that, or anything it presents itself as like could throw that off, they're immediately out. And again, it's like I totally get the other side saying like, well, fuck them then. The problem is we're losing elections every day, every year, every 4 years, because of the lack of fucking conversation around those things.
Right. No, that's my problem with like one issue voters. So like if if you're going to, I mean, it is what it is, but like some people like only like dive into like one thing. And like you have to understand that like the candidate that you are espousing has a entire policy across the board politically. And so you have to be responsible enough. This is why I feel like it should be a national holiday, voting in general, so that you can really understand the topics that are being discussed in these congressional hearings and all of this stuff, because it impacts people's lives. Just like you said, like if 2% is not a big deal, or if it is a big deal, or if we talking about Medicare for all, we talking about Medicaid, all of these things affect people at a grand scale and a local scale. And so one issue voters bother me because uh, the majority, my experience with one issue voters is they vote on a visceral uh, reason rather than a policy one or an intellectual one. It's just more like, I feel like this is the right thing to do. And that's problematic in my opinion. We don't have, I don't think in my summation that we have a very um, educated public. I
No,
don't
we
think we have a
don't.
very educated public. I think we have a extremely, like, our society is geared towards entertainment. So like that's why we're the greatest at sports and movies and music in the world. Is because that's what we fixate on. It's what, like, it's all kids want to grow up to be. It's what I wanted to grow up to be. But I mean that's a whole nother topic. But you're 1,000% right about that.
No, it's just the hard thing and I mean, having had, as many conversations as I can over the past several months with as many people as I can about this shit, that's where I see the biggest divide and the biggest problem is that people are not willing to change anything about their
Yeah.
lives. They just want to be comfortable. And the first time that it's been like, my alerts are going off over and over my ear. The first time that it's been, I mean, this quarantine shit, this COVID situation has put us in a place where I feel like we can have more conversations than we'd normally be able to. And it gives people the opportunity to stop and actually think. And it's the part that makes me like really want to try to stop like the fuck you to the other side thing, because it's anything right now that can open discourse seems like any amount of conversation. I mean, even with the people you think are just like absolutely fucking no chances, like Ben Shapiro listeners or whatever, like I swear to God, there's a way into every single human being. There's something
Man,
that can make it click for them. And
that's like no, go ahead, go
no,
ahead.
it's just a matter of figuring out what it is. So like I've got certain friends where it took a whole bunch of really dumbass conversations up front, like around, all those statistics they're sitting around. Oh, more white people got shot by cops in 2019 than black people. Yeah, but there's way more black people in the United States, you fuck. Like, that's a simple mathematical problem. So I had to have like 100 of those, but then
Right.
eventually you get to like an actual conversation.
And what does that conversation look like though? That's what I'm interested in.
I think it's literally just so you get through all the stupid bullshit, all the excuses, all of the I guess the narratives that the media builds and that people have built and families have built and people in the South in particular have built. You get through all these different issues that really don't have shit to do with Shinola, and then once you have all the fucking distractions torn away, you have no choice but to look at what it is, which is just pain and suffering. You can't, once you've taken away everything else, it's just that's what's there.
In my experience, like I can't get there. Like,
I mean, that's fair.
No, it's not that I can't. It's just that I find that people are less likely. No, you're right. No, you're right. I don't think I can get there because it gets to a point with me. Like I think if like they're your friends and stuff, you're emotionally invested in bringing them to a logical standpoint. Like if I'm talking to somebody, you say what?
Some of them is just straight up like I'm talking to people who listen to my show or whatever, trying to have a better understanding of why the fuck they don't get it in some cases.
Right. Yeah, I think there comes a point in most of those conversations for me where I check out. And I'm like, all right, dog, like that's. You gotta do what you gotta do, and I disagree with you a lot, and I don't think you're a very intelligent human being. And see, to me, that's the issue. That's problematic what I just said for sure. But I think that's the issue though. Is like when you start to break down politics and political issues, to me, it becomes less about like because I used to think oh, it's just a different worldview. Like we just have a difference of opinion. And then when you start to like really peel back the layers of political issues, it's not a difference of opinion. It's a morality difference. Like we view morals differently. And so how can I how can we occupy the same space and still be friendly if I think that you're a piece of shit?
I mean, that's a fair question. And honestly, it's like I think that differs for every single one of us, right? Like all of us have a line somewhere where like I can put up with this much shit from each individual, and then you're fucking out,
Right.
and that's totally fair. It's just like I now, especially having taken 33 years to really get to a place where I felt like I fucking understood what was even happening, it's like an obligation for me.
Right.
Like it's like that's my piece of this is that I have to do my part to talk to as many people as I can because I also remember what it feels like to be on the ignorant side of it that doesn't get it.
And I think that's dope. I think we need white people like you, honestly. I don't
Well, I
think
appreciate
the
that.
country changes without white people like you.
Well, and even then, it's gonna be
No, we're not gonna see the end of this shit, bro. We're gonna die, and
yeah,
this is gonna be a racist fucking
we'll
country.
be dead
But
as fuck.
like the shit that I seen when I was watching the NBA the basketball game. It was weird as fuck because a lot of the shit that's been talked about in my household since I was a kid and around in our circles, which wasn't mainstream knowledgeable topics, right? It was like shit you had to dig and learn about. Like so, like when I was young, I learned about Black Wall Street uh, and Greenwood. Matter of fact, in 2018, before all of this social shit popped off, my album released, and so I released the independent. And my guy was like, you have to put a label." And I was like, "I don't have a label. It's just independent." And he was like, "We can make one up." And so if you go back and look, it's under Greenwood. Greenwood was the actual street that Black Wall Street was called, right? And so like this is just it was normal to me. So these conversations were normal to me. Talking about black issues was normal to me. Black history was normal to me because my father did a good job of educating us young. Um, but I was watching NBA on TNT or whatever the fuck it was the other day. The Lakers were playing, and they brought up Oklahoma, and they brought up Russell Westbrook and how he was going to put Black Wall Street on his jersey, and I'm just like, this is a nationally televised game, and that's like you don't learn about that in your history books in high school. Like you don't learn about that. Like you have like that's it's not knowledge that we're usually privy to, and it's weird to me to see that shit so public. It's just I almost don't trust it, honestly.
No, I think that's been the big progress here, though. Is it like,
Yeah,
dude? It's now it's every. I mean, and you just spoke to the NBA on the damn court. It says Black Lives Matter in huge ass black letters
yeah,
at the top of
yeah,
like it's not. You can't ignore it anymore, and that's the thing that I think has been huge about this.
yeah.
Is
And
it's
I
no
mean,
longer you cannot just turn a blind eye, and it didn't go away in like 3 weeks. It wasn't one of those things. Oh, we're all angry. No, man, it's still going every
yeah.
single day. We're still talking about it right now. I mean, and it's like it
And to
is.
that is why I believe I used to think like sports were just like whatever, but any entertainment in general where you capture people's attention are important and part of our culture and to keep it moving forward. And why I give the commissioner, what is his name, Adam,
Silver.
there you go, him a lot of credit, um, as much credit as you can give, without calling out some hypocrisies, but I'll give him credit. LeBron James, all the credit in the world. Like these cats who are like, because I know too how it's like white people will be like, "Oh, I'm so sick of hearing about this shit. Like it's everywhere. If I turn it on here, I hit on it. It's in here. It's in this. I'm tired of it. I don't want to talk about this anymore." We're like, I agree. I don't want to talk about this shit either, dog. But it's here, and we've been talking about this shit, and so it's like it's gonna take that. So like when little kids grow up, that's gonna be normal to them. They grew up seeing social and racial conflict, like at a really heavy level. And so they're going to normalize it in their head in one or two ways. Either these fuckers are crazy or let me side with these people and be empathetic with their plight and be an ally to help change the circumstances. And so that to me crops a new generation of people, which is why it's important to have it in the mainstream in the first place.
And that's what you spoke to will be like long dead and gone before it's fixed. Yeah, because it's gonna have to be generational growth over like, and we'll only get a small percentage of people hooked up on the next wave on the next generation. It's gonna take another one after that, and another one after that, and like inevitably, eventually, you have enough people that it hits. But like, it's slow as fuck. I mean, as we've all seen, like it's
Yeah.
slow as fuck. Even speaking to just our lifetime, even like if you like the thing that struck me so hard, like week of George Floyd's killing, was going and listening to Changes. The fucking entire song could have been written in 2020 and nobody would have known the goddamn difference. Like,
Yep.
Tupac's been
Yep.
dead 30 years or whatever. Like, it's fuck. Well, not that's math's not right, but
I was about to say, I was
it's
like,
great.
God damn, nigga ain't that old.
He didn't die when I was 3 years old. But no. But it's like that Marvin Gaye song you brought up. Like it's just like the more it's talked about, the more it's prevalent, the more it's out in front of us, the more it'll change. It's just crazy that it's taken so many instances to
Yeah.
even get to a place where we could all talk about it, because that's really
Yeah.
what's finally happened.
Yeah.
Like, because
Yeah.
before, dude, every single one of those killings I saw, every single person you can name down the list of the most, like, news famous police incidences that have popped up in our media over the past decade in particular, nobody I know cared after a couple weeks. Because everybody I knew was white.
Right.
And it stopped being in the 24-hour news cycle fast enough to where they could move on with their lives and not feel bad and not have to worry about trying to be part of some social change or action. It's like, it's not a normal thing for a human being to want to do, really.
No, 1,000%.
It
And
takes a motivation.
yeah, I hate to give any more credit to apathetic people, but just the way the news cycle works in general is that we're desensitized to violence anyway, and so I can see from that aspect how it's an apathetic gesture or an apathetic move, but to kind of pivot, dog, and to talk about some of the stuff that uh we got on for in the first place. I know we were gonna play horror games, but I ain't gonna lie, the game was kind of trash.
Yeah, fuck that game.
um, I think there's probably some fun ones out there that we can dig into. But along with all this, right? I had experienced some shit that I never experienced before to this extent, and so I think the accumulation from my life trauma with what's going on in the world today and all of this stuff, I started dealing with like massive anxiety.
Right.
And for people that don't know about anxiety, it's not like you're just worrying. And I used to think that, and that's why I prefaced it with that, because I used to think like niggas used to tell me, oh, I had anxiety attack, and I'm like, nigga, stop worrying about shit, bro. And that was my response. I was like, bro, just quit
Yeah,
worrying.
just chill the fuck
Relax.
out.
Yeah, just chill, dog. Until I had my first panic attack, and my first panic attack was a near-death experience in my mind because I thought I was dying. I thought I had a heart attack. And for those that have never had a panic attack, imagine you're sitting there and everything's normal, and then out of nowhere, your heart starts going 130, and my palms got sweaty, and I started getting dizzy, and I don't know if this one's ever happened to you, but like my limbs started locking up to where it's like it was curling, and then it traveled up, dog. I could feel the numbness and the muscles locking up started traveling up, hit my jaw, and I was like, oh, this is death. I'm about to die. And this is how I know I'm a for real atheist, is because not once in that moment I was like, there's a God to help me. And then not once.
Are you serious? Oh man, every single one I've had, I'm like, God, get me out of this one. I swear, the rest of my life, I'll never do another bad thing.
I'm gonna be a Mormon.
I'm serious, man.
Honestly, what ran through my mind was my kids, and I was like, I'm not gonna get to see them grow up. Like that was what was like. But honestly, I was really calm, thinking I was gonna die. I was like, well, shit, bro, this is it. I mean, it sucks, but this is it. We had a good run. Like those were the thoughts going through my head as in my mind I'm about to die, which is really cool, knowing how I'm gonna be in my last moments of life. But anyway,
I can tell you, I am not gonna be the same, because I've had 1,000 of these panic attacks at this point,
right.
and not once have I been like, I'm ready.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't ready, but it was just like, damn. I was just more like, yo, this fucking sucks. This shit sucks,
Yeah,
dog.
see, the part for me that is, I think, is a huge trigger for me is it is literally a fear of death. Like, I'm always like, I'm not ready to go yet. I got too much shit to do. I got too much shit to do
Right,
still. Like, I don't have
right,
kids yet. I want to have kids. Like,
right.
that type of stuff is what pops into my head, and it's man, you spoke to your limbs clenching up.
Yeah.
Um, and for those of y'all who are listening, this is something that Arian very recently started. When did you have your first panic attack? Can you give like a time
Right. So
frame?
my first panic attack was last year,
Okay.
and it. So let's finish the point. So the first panic attack was last year. I had did an edible, right? And so I've been smoking weed my whole life. Like I've never had no issues with weed. And all of a sudden I smoke. Matter of fact, that weekend my shorty cooked edibles for all the homies was in town, and she cooked edibles for us, and we ate them the whole weekend. I was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we was high because we was eating edibles. And the very last one I ate, it was the last one of the batch, and I was nothing changed. I ate it, and all of a sudden it went from 0 to 100 like fast as shit, and I was like, oh my god. But I was like, okay, I'm high, I'm good. But then it just started. Um. Anyway, so I thought after that panic attack happened, well, to kind of go into it, so people that are interested are asking. So how I got out of it was the paramedics came. They called it. She called the ambulance because she thought I was having a heart attack too. She didn't know. So the paramedics came, and when they came, it was like up to my neck, and I thought I was about to go. And when they came, there was a sense of calm that came over me, and I was like, that is really odd. And I was like, but my hands were still locked up, everything else kind of relaxed. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm not dying. You know, maybe I beat the heart attack. That's what I was thinking. He took all my vitals, and he nigga said he's like your blood pressure is better than mine, man. That's what he said, and that shit calmed me when he said that. That shit calmed me, and so they took EKG, they took all my vitals, and they was like, look, man, I'm gonna be honest. It was like, we don't think there's anything cardiovascular going on. We think that this is an anxiety attack. I think we're having a panic attack. And I'm like, what? What the fuck do you mean? He was like, yeah. He's like, we get these a lot. We get these calls a lot. He's like, but if you want to be sure, we can go to the hospital. And I was like, nigga, I don't know. You know better than me. But anyway, so that was my first one, and I was like, okay, maybe it was just the edibles. So I was like, okay, let me just smoke regular weed. Smoke regular weed. 2 days later, had another one. I was like, damn. I was like, maybe it's just the edibles and the weed. Maybe I could vape. 2, 3 days later, vaped, had another one. I was like, motherfucker, is it just weed? Damn, it's just weed. So I stopped weed for a while. Early this year, it was on my tour. I was on my tour, and we was on our way back from Florida to Houston, actually. And I was just sitting there, wasn't smoking, wasn't drinking, wasn't doing anything. And same feeling happened, but it was even weirder because it was just my arms that went numb. And so your mind starts to thinking, it's like, well, it's not the whole body, it's the arm. This is a real heart attack this time.
Yeah, your mind will
And so I
always
had to
trick
got
you.
pull,
It tricks you
huh?
into like your brain will trick you into the ways to convince you, okay, well this one's different. Now it's a heart attack. Now I'm fucking dying.
Yeah, yeah. And it's shitty because it's like you don't want to not listen to your body because one day it might be that. You know what I mean?
I absolutely.
But a long story short, man. I know I'm long winded here, but uh, early this year I started having them frequently, um, like every other 2 weeks, and 1 week, and then after a while, it was just constant. It was like every day. It wasn't a panic attack, but it was like somebody was sitting on my chest every single day, and I couldn't breathe, and um, I didn't know what was going on, and I thought, okay, this has got to be some kind of cardiovascular issue or some kind of irregularity. I did all the tests. I took a stress test. I did EKG, echocardiogram. I did everything, and they're like, your heart seems fine. And I had one more panic attack, and this is the one where I text you at like I think I text you at like it was like 7 in the morning or some shit, dog. And so I text Ross at 7 in the morning, y'all, because I hadn't slept that night. And I remember I was on Twitter like a week before, and I saw a video that he posted, and it was like he was like it was like in a real calm like ambience music, and there was like a big fucking fish tank. I remember that shit. And he said, "You are not alone. Like nobody's ever died from a panic attack." And I was like, "Oh, that was a really nice video Ross to make," but didn't think I would ever. So I was scrolling Twitter looking for that shit while I'm having a panic attack because I didn't sleep for 6 hours, dog. I was like up, couldn't breathe. And if I text him, I was like, "Hey, my nigga, where's that video?" I was like, "Yo, where's that video, dog?" And he ended up texting it to me. But then like an hour later, I couldn't take it, and I had to go to the hospital, and so I went to the hospital. But
Fuck.
long story short, I know this is a long story, but it's way longer. I started having them a lot more frequently, and so my doctor finally recommended. Like I went to the hospital again, and my doctor recommended that I see a psychiatrist, and so I've been seeing her for about a good 2 months now, maybe a month and a half. Um, and it's something I have to work on every single day, every single week. It's an issue that I have to address rather than just something that happens to me. Like I have to be proactive about my anxiety because she ended up diagnosing me. I don't know if I told you this, but she ended up diagnosing me with generalized anxiety disorder, and I didn't even know that was a fucking thing. I didn't even know that you could have some shit like that. But it was just it felt good to be understood. It felt good to know that what I have is a normal, I guess, normal-ish thing. But anyway, I say all that to say you have helped me tremendously through it because my girl's in contact with my ex girl. I don't even know if she wants me to call her now. The homie is in contact with you, and she relayed a lot of messages from you to me during that time that were just really helpful and kind of like letting me know your story and how you went through a lot of the similar things. And you still battle with it as well, and just having that like in the back of your head helps like tremendously.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, it's well, first of all, absolutely anytime, hit me up. I've been dealing with this shit since I was 21 years old. On my 21st birthday, I had my first panic attack, and it was in a bar for lunch. And I got about halfway through my first beer at college. I was at Texas State University, and I lost feeling in my hands and my feet, and that shit crept up my fucking legs and arms, and then I couldn't breathe, and I thought I was having a heart attack, and I thought I was dying. And the first one lasted like I don't know, man, like really you can't have a panic attack last longer than like something like 30 minutes. They stack on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
You're having multiple attacks. You don't realize it, but that's how they feed. And it lasted for like 2 weeks, and I was throwing up pretty much the whole 2 weeks. I was in bed pretty much the whole 2 weeks. Anything I ate, it was coming out like straight water. My stomach was fucked. So I thought I had like every cancer, brain cancer, lung cancer. You know, I'd been like smoking cigs and drinking for 5 years at that point. Um, so I did the same shit. Like long story short, on my end, really compacting it.
Yeah, I didn't compact it, kind of man.
No, you did a really good job. But same exact experiences. One time I ended up finally, so mine would get triggered when I drive a lot on the highway. And one time I ended up finally having to pull over, and I was like, this is fucked. This is real. I'm dying. And ambulance called. Opposite experience, when they took my fucking blood pressure, they told me that they thought I was having a stroke, which did not help.
Oh man,
But they took me to the
man.
hospital, ran an EKG, did all the shit, right? And just like you said, the second they got me in the hospital, this
Real
wave of
quick, real quick,
calm
real quick,
came over me.
real quick. The last time I went to the hospital, the dude got me in the back of the ambulance, and he took, you know, how they take your UKG and they print out that sheet.
Yeah.
So he prints out the sheet. He was like, he said, what did he say? He said, yeah, if you see this, that means it's a heart attack. And I was like, I didn't want to say anything. And then when he said that, my heart jumped, dog. My heart jumped and like sunk, and it started beating like crazy. And I was like, hey man, are you saying I'm having a heart attack right now? He's like, oh no. I'm saying if you see this, yours didn't do that. It went like this. And I'm like, nigga, you gotta be more careful with your fucking words, dog.
I'm telling you.
Holy shit.
Dude, I saw
Go ahead,
so
my
many
bad, my bad.
doctors, so many doctors before I finally had one explain it to me in a way and then diagnose me in a way that made me feel like they understood what I was actually going through. But that first experience in the hospital, when they put me in the bed or whatever, I felt that calm that you felt when the paramedics showed up.
Yeah.
And then they ran all these tests on me and shit, and nothing came up. Kept going, la la la. I'm having a bunch more attacks. I end up in Houston. I made my mom take me to get tested for, like, I thought my lungs were fucked because I was like, I can't breathe ever because I'm anxious all the time. I'm panicking. They ran all the lung tests on me and they were like, your lungs are fucking fine, dude. And I was like, well, that's literally impossible because I can't fucking breathe, and I'm telling you I got lung cancer. And they're like, you don't have shit. Go home. They even gave me an inhaler just to like make me feel better. They were like, we guess you can puff on this, you stupid motherfucker. Um, but eventually I got diagnosed. And what I got diagnosed with is straight panic disorder. And it's so I don't really have as much generalized anxiety. I have panic disorder and panic attacks. And what I found, just like you, was at the beginning when I was really struggling with wrapping my head around what I was dealing with and how this was going to change my life. And I was 21 and, like, you know, peak drinking, partying, chasing girls era. And I didn't want to fucking sacrifice anything. I didn't want to change anything about the way I was living. So first thing was drinking, which I didn't stop until 2.5 years ago. Every time I was hungover for a fucking decade, I had a panic attack. For a fucking decade, bro. Just didn't want to stop drinking. But there was like so many at one point, weed turned on me, where every time I was smoking weed, I was having a panic attack. And eventually,
I'm,
I had to stop
I'm
smoking
there.
weed.
I'm there.
I will note the edible thing, if you take them a whole bunch of days in a row or even just a few couple, bro, they can compound on you, and all of a sudden you can take one that last day that accidentally you didn't mean to, and suddenly it's your way too fucking high, and then your brain just goes, sorry, dude, you're strap in,
Malfunction.
we're dying.
Strap in. We're dying.
But I'm telling you, so I quit drinking in October of 2017, and I didn't have a panic attack like I know them until about 2 weeks ago. So that was at least a 2 year break where I didn't have a single fucking one. And
Damn.
just from cutting out alcohol alone. Now, 2020, as we know, that just ended up being like a big trigger for me, drinking. It's something that, for whatever reason, when I drank, I liked to drink enough to where I would get drunk and feel good and relaxed because I didn't have that much anymore. Like, I didn't get to feel that very often because I was so worried about having another panic attack.
Right.
But when I cut it out, for whatever reason, it really put me in a place where, like, mentally I was able to handle it more, and I'd been going to psychiatry for a lot of years at that point too. I'm also on like an SSRI that I take every single day at this point because it got so bad with me driving that I was like, I have to be able to get around, which ironically now I've given up on that. And I just fucking Uber everywhere, dude, because I can't drive, man. I have a panic attack. Like, it's not worth it.
That's wild. Yeah.
But I got to a place where I was able to really control them. And then, as we know, 2020 has been like a fucking shitstorm for everybody. Everybody's anxiety, depression, any mental health ailments, even people who don't struggle with mental health are miserable in 20 because it's just a shitty fucking year. And
Horrible.
it spun back up on me. It spun back up on me. I had, like, any transitional period in life, you'll find you're really susceptible to them
Right.
because transition, big changes, moving, new job, new school, even something as simple as like new girlfriend, new employee. It's like I hired my first employee, Coles, who's awesome. He's in the chat. I appreciate you, dude. Like the week before he came, I kind of felt it building because that's a huge moment for me to hire somebody, to employ somebody, to have somebody like that I'm directly responsible for. Is not a position I've been in before. Like I said, I don't have kids. I got 2 dogs, man. That's it.
Right.
And any moments like any big transitional periods or moments of like great stress can trigger the fuck out of this nonsense. And when you're in your late 20s, early 30s, people don't realize this. Late 20s, early 30s is when you are most susceptible, if you have mental health issues in your family history, to them finally spinning up. Now, in my case, I just drank and did drugs so much that them shits popped up at 21. But I genuinely believe that inevitably, even if I hadn't, they would have eventually. I would have had the panic attacks that I have, that I know now, and I'll say this too: the one I had the other week was fucking awful. I ended up on the phone with my dad. I mean, I didn't call the ambulance because I've been through it enough times at this point where I was like, I'll just die here. Fuck it. But I was on the phone with my dad, and I was on the ground in my living room, crying, like bawling, crying, like emotional fucking outbursts because more than anything for me now, they're frustrating because I've had so many of them,
Right.
and to feel that again after years off, right, was just I was more than anything I was angry, and because it's not like I drank the night before or fell off the fucking wagon or some shit.
Right.
That being said, I do smoke a fuckload of weed. I had to take 2 weeks off. I immediately after that day was like, I got to take a tea break, man. I took 2 weeks, full 2 weeks off to get myself like healthy with weed again, to where it was more of a tool and less of a crutch. And because this was wrapped up in like me going through a divorce too, and I was smoking a lot to like, yeah. But the point is this: I have found that the more you can eliminate like your ego from it, and the more you can let go of like that, because for me it was for trying to control it for years and years and years. I was trying to control what is not something I can control. It's a piece of me, it's a part of me, and in my case it's ended up being the biggest gift I've ever gotten, because my fucking job is only because I have this shit. You and me talking right now is only because I have this shit. Like, you and I were able to develop a relationship based on other stuff, but it was in it. Like my show that you came on only existed because I had panic disorder. I launched that podcast because I wanted a way to talk about this shit and
Right.
normalize mental health instead of making it such a stigma. Because in particular, men in our country, we don't even think we're supposed to be allowed to fucking cry, much less
Yeah.
be thinking we're dying and flipping out, calling ambulances and shit like. "Uh." So it really is just like it's so stigmatized that it's a double edged sword, and it crushes dudes like
Yeah.
you and me who you
Yeah. I
don't want to
think.
believe that you can't beat it, but you can't beat it.
Yeah. And that's the frustrating thing about it. I think is that for somebody who doesn't really know, like who's kind of new in the journey or whatever. The frustrating thing is, I think that's why I get anxiety on weed now when I'm high, because I think when I was younger, I was just so carefree that nothing bothered me. Where now is I'm so much more aware that every change of mental state, I want to control. I want to know what's going on. I have to know what I have to understand, and so weed takes me out of that. And when I'm not in control, I freak the fuck out. I
I'm the
just
same way,
absolutely
man.
freak out. And but the odd part of that is actually when I'm drunk. Oh, I guess that is no. I just solved that riddle then, because when I drink, like I could drink a whole. I've done this before, and I don't do it anymore. It's why I only drink wine, because you have to go through 6 bottles of wine before you're like I have a problem. Uh, I could drink like a whole fifth, dog,
Yeah,
and you probably wouldn't even know. Like I'm extremely controlled. Like I can control that. But the reason why I loved drinking and I like drinking is because, and I told my psychiatrist this actually, it's because when I'm sober, um, I'm everywhere mentally. I'm in the past. I'm in the future. I'm in the now. It's I'm all over the place. I'm always thinking about everything, man. And
you
when
can't get it to
I'm
stop.
and also like the shit exactly what you said. It's like we're conditioned as men to grow up to not feel, man, to not have any emotions. And I was hardened my entire life, dog, until probably 2, 3 years ago. I was hardened. Like I'm talking about. I can't imagine like what my family actually thought of me, because I was like, yo. I mean, until my credit, it was a defense mechanism because all the shit I grew up with, right? I just put up with a lot, but I was like super hardened. Like I remember there was at one point in time where I felt uncomfortable hugging my mother. Like that's how bad it got, dog. I was just hardened. And so when I drink, whatever veil or whatever shield that is, that shit goes away, and I'm the most emotionally available motherfucker on the planet, dog. And I love how it feels. I love how it feels. I love being able to look at a stranger and be like, dog, I love you. I fucking love you, dog. Like, and just I don't know this nigga from the Panic King, but I just love this nigga. and I love my mother, and I'll kiss my mother on the cheek, and I'll give her a big hug when I'm drunk. But when I'm sober, this is not available. And so it allows me to feel like everybody else feels.
Right.
Just feel in general. Like I didn't know how to feel. And so part of me breaking that cycle was admitting to myself I had an issue with emotions, that I was cut off. Like there was a fucking wall, and I had to break that shit down. And what happened was, well, the reason why I had a problem with drinking was because I wanted to feel more and more, and so I drank more and more. And but there was no adverse effects. I didn't get panic attacks with it, right?
It's the
I
same
didn't get
shit,
panic
man.
attacks. With it. Yeah, I never got panic attacks with them. I never got hungover, and so I could drink it. Dog, I remember one time, it was 2014. I was hurt. Yeah, I went to the Pro Bowl this year, but I was hurt for a game, and my man's came over. We was making some music before we had to go to the hotel to go to a meeting, right? Before he came, I was like, "Yo, bring a bottle of Fifth. I mean, Crown, a fifth of Crown." He's like, "Bet." It was the new Crown Apple, so it just came out, so I was like super hyped to try it out. We was just sitting there making music. All of a sudden, I look up. It's like 30, 45 minutes later, the whole bottle gone. He's like, "Dog, you just drank a whole fifth," and I was like, "Oh my god." He's like, "Are you gonna go to the meeting?" I was like, "Yeah," but I didn't feel drunk. Went to the meeting, drove to the meeting, dog. Drove to the meeting. Could nobody ever question? Nobody ever asked, like, are you drunk? They didn't smell it. There was like nothing. Like it was insane. And that's when I knew, I was like, dog, this is an issue, not because I'm abusing it, but because niggas can't tell. I can't tell. This ain't healthy, right? But I loved how it made me feel. And so I had to reconcile that with, like, I want to feel outside of this substance, because if I don't, this shit's gonna kill me.
Dude, it was instead of emotionally, I've always been pretty emotionally available. My side was it was socially. It gave me it put me on the same level as everybody else socially, where I didn't feel like insecure or self conscious. I became like a social butterfly when I drank. And only when I drank did I have that ability. It wasn't something I could really do. I couldn't just go out to a bar sober and kick it with a bunch of people and have a bunch of conversations and make jokes and feel comfortable in my own skin. For me, that was the real problem. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. And I would drink and it would feel better. And I would fucking become the loudest person at the table or whatever. And like life was good. And then when I got home, I didn't want that feeling to stop. Fucking shit was great. So then I'd have a
Yeah.
bottle of wine and watch Les Mis for whatever reason, and then I'd have another bottle of wine, and then like next thing I knew, I had put on fucking 60 pounds and was a miserable fat fuck for no reason. It was just,
Right.
but for me, so it was like same type of deal though, and I think that's the way it is for pretty much everybody who drinks. And you spoke to like that, your active mind, right? Overactive.
Right.
You think about everything constantly. I guarantee you, when you try to go to sleep at night sober, that's a problem. That
Oh,
you
it's the
lay
worst.
there and you're like, fucking shit, I can't stop thinking about every goddamn possible problem that could pop into my mind. This thing that I might have forgotten about, this, that, this. Yo, that's the
So I'm on a
same.
I'm on a plan right now with my psychiatrist. We're weeding it down, man. Like we're like, if I go to bed at 1 or 2 in the morning, that's a good night, because like it'll be like 4, 5, 6 usually, and I just can't sleep, and then I'll wake up at 8 or 9, and I haven't been sleeping
Oh,
well.
dude. That
It's shitty,
gets.
and so I've been running on this for a while, and so like we put together plans, and so I've been getting better. So like 1, 2, and like 3 is where I'm at right now, and so I'm just working on that.
Dude, so I got like that was the next thing for me that I was like, all right, well, I'm back in a place where I got to handle my mental health again, right? I got to start being proactive, like you were speaking to earlier. It's no longer like a thing I can just sit here and wait, because they will come for my ass.
Yeah.
So I started working out again, like weights, and I actually had to stop running because my skinny ass is trying to gain fucking weight at this point. But I started working out again with weights in my fucking
Yep.
garage like 3, 4 times a week.
That's mandatory. Having some kind of exertion, dog.
Huge, huge for me. And then the other side of it is sleep and getting on a. All right, so I'm same as you, bro. I'm a night owl. I can't turn my fucking brain off. I usually like old Ross used to stay up easy. Two in the morning was a good. If I got to bed by 2 a.m., that was a huge win.
Yep.
Now
That's where I'm at.
I try to get in bed by 10 if I can, 12 at the latest, and it's because my ass takes at least an hour to wind down to where I can fall asleep, man. And I mean, granted, like now I use weed. I smoke before sleep, and I'm prescribed to Clonopin, which I could take if I needed it instead of weed, but I prefer the
I got
weed.
Klonopin, right?
The shit's
So I
great.
got that shit works, man.
It really
I like it
does.
because it doesn't get me high. Like I don't feel high or anything like that. It just it works when I start to feel it coming. I pop one and it works, and it goes away. So whatever the fuck is in it, but I don't like to I don't want to be like
Pro
dependent on it.
medicine.
Nah, I just don't want to be dependent on this shit. So like I don't take it to sleep. There's been 3 or 4 times I've took it to sleep, but I don't make it a habit. Like,
Yeah.
but what I have you ever tried melatonin?
Mm-hmm. That
That
shit
shit gives
helps.
me anxiety.
What the fuck? Really?
Yeah, but it's not the day. And I'll sleep, but I'll wake up and I'll usually when I take melatonin, I wake up out of my sleep with an anxiety attack. It's fucking insane. So I stopped taking it. It was
Dude,
weird,
it's
dog.
so weird how there's all these okay, so like the one I'm on right now, what I do is aside from smoking like a heavy indica,
Right.
I make this sleepy time tea. It's got
Sleepy
like
time tea. It
it's
sounds
it
like some
literally is what it's called for
sounds
like
like some shit R. Kelly gives his.
or like you would buy for like a baby. But like no, it looks like a little baby package. Like I'd go grab it, but fuck it. But it's
Sleepy
tea
time tea.
with valerian root and some shit in it. There's no caffeine. It's not a caffeine tea, obviously. That'd be very
Right, horrible.
contradictory to what I'm trying to accomplish here.
Right.
Um, and that shit has helped a lot. Like I don't know what the fuck it is about the tea. I'm a person where it takes a lot to get me to like try some shit like a sleepy time tea. I had the damn box. A very close female friend of mine gave it to me, and it's been sitting in my house for 2 months. And 2 weeks ago, I was finally like, dude, fuck this. And I drank it at 9 p.m. or whatever. I was out at like 10:30. I slept for the first time over 8 hours, like in 2020.
That's dope.
So,
That's super dope.
and that was combined with like I had lifted weights that morning too. So like, you know what I mean? Didn't eat like trash, lifted weights, do a little stupid thing with the sleepy time tea, maybe fucking close my eyes and try to meditate for a little bit. Like, there's just a lot of shit you can do to try to
That's
start
another thing,
battling
dog.
back on the sleep thing because inevitably, like you said, you can only shave off like an hour at a time too. You can't be like, all right, I'm the type of person where I have a tendency to go, all right, I'm staying up till 4 a.m. every night. Fuck that, I'm
Right.
going to bed at 10 tonight. It doesn't work that way. Your body's gonna tell
Mm-mm.
you to go fuck yourself. You have to like slowly dial
Yeah.
it back.
And another thing, I can't, and maybe it's a problem, but I have to watch something or something has to be on because if I don't, that'll throw me into a panic attack. If I'm just sitting there in the dark,
In the
that's just
silence,
it's like I can't like I'll think myself into a panic attack. Like it's just hard to, and so I have to have something distract my brain.
when you go to your psychiatrist, is it like, all right, so like just as an example, I've had psychiatrists in the past where, it's a 50-minute session and you do a good bit of talking and they're very active in the conversation and like guiding you into what you need to be talking about and trying to figure out what's going on and yada yada. But the one I have now, it's just we focus on like how my medicine is affecting me, and then I have a
Yep.
therapist that I speak with for an hour every 2 weeks ish, and that's like that's the real shit to me. Like the talk therapy with this therapist has been fucking the most powerful medicine I've ever taken.
Where I think she does both. I mean, we talk about those kind of things. We talk about the medicine and stuff. But to me, that's been her more impactful impact on me is the shit that we talk about, and I can get off my chest, and I can tell her things that I haven't really told anybody, and she makes it okay for me to confide in her, shit like that. Like that. That's the kind of shit. Like we spent like the first 3 or 4 weeks just trying to get to know each other, like me kind of opening up, and then finally she knows my past, she knows my history, she's starting to understand my personality, and now we can start to like she can start to kind of piece together why I'm fucked up in the head and help me out a little bit. And so it has been helping tremendously. But I think um, that's To me, that's how you attack mental health issues. Is you put a game plan together. First, understand and recognize that you have an issue, and be okay with it. It's like, all right, dog. People go through shit. Like this is what you're going through, and after that, like developing a game plan for the shit. We're gonna do this, and this. Okay, by this week, we're gonna try to go to sleep by 2 a.m. And if it doesn't work, it's cool. That's to me, that's been my biggest weapon in this whole thing is having like patience with myself and not judging myself so much. Like, because a lot of the times, especially as an ex-athlete, I'm like, I want results and I want them now. And so it's just being real cool with yourself. Like, dog, you're a human being just like everybody else, dog. And so we gonna fuck up. But when we fuck up, understand we fucked up and let's just keep it pushing towards not fucking up. And that's the best we can do. And it sounds like hella cookie cutter, corny type shit, but
No,
it's shit. I haven't been nice to myself. That little voice in my head has been real mean to me over the years.
bro, that's been the same problem with me my whole life, and it's something that I still struggle with every single day. And you even said something just a second ago, it, like clicked the little trigger I have in my head. Now you said that you were fucked up. Why I'm fucked up,
Right.
and that's part of it. Is like you attach
Yeah, I shouldn't have
negativity
said
to it.
that.
But
Yeah.
you can't. I can't help it. I do the same thing where it's like,
Right.
but that what you spoke to, the way you talk to yourself, I think so many of us we don't realize what the dialogue in our head is, and the way that we treat ourselves is a real thing that like very very much impacts your mental health on a day-to-day basis and your ability to be happy and peaceful. And I
Yeah.
treated myself like shit mentally, it turns out. Like, just the way I would frame everything up in my head was always negative connotation. Like, even accomplishing shit, crushing it, doing the best I've ever done in my life, like business wise or whatever. Like, it was never good enough. It never got me anywhere mentally because I was still so fucking miserable. Like, the way I framed everything up in my head was so negative. And it was just like that. It's that negative self talk is what it's called.
Yep. Yeah.
And that took one of my therapists or psychiatrists along the years like pointing it out, but that's like still one of the main things I struggle with. And I'll catch myself more and more now, like when I I'll say, I'm like, even if it's something silly like, man, I'm fucking stupid, I'll catch myself and be like, you're not, why would you even say it? Like
Yeah.
why even put it out there like that? You know
Right.
that's not true. Don't
Yeah.
say that shit about yourself.
It's undoing, dog. What I figured out is it's undoing a lot of and it sounds so fucking like millennial wokish, but it's undoing a lot of society's expectations on yourself. Like it's unraveling all of those expectations. And it's really like I was having a conversation, or I was reading a conversation actually on Twitter about it. And I got like 100,000 retweets or some shit. And they were talking about how the divorce rates are high because people are, what did she say? She framed it in a negative light. She said something like divorce rates are high because people don't value relationships and yada 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 yada. And somebody underneath her was like, no, the divorce rates are high because people are finally starting to understand that you don't have to be trapped in unhappy relationships your entire life. Like that social construct is breaking down. And I was like, nigga, boom. That's the biggest thing to me is like our generation is finally waking up and realizing like, yo, all of the shit that our parents forced upon us and forced upon themselves is unhealthy. And that's why pops used to stay at the fucking bar all day and drunk, come home drunk and beat everybody, right? Or whatever your situation was, but that was my situation. But that's why it was because the nigga was unhappy, right? Super fucking unhappy, and moms was unhappy in it too, but she was trying to keep the shit together. And so like how many social relationships are we holding together or holding on to just because we think that's what we're supposed to do? That shit is a real thing. And so like all like our kids and their kids are going to live in a much more mentally happy and healthy place because we don't force those expectations on them. Like I don't expect none of them. I got 4 kids. I don't expect none of them to get married. If they get married, cool. Get a prenup. I'll be there if you want me to. But I don't care if you get married. I don't give a fuck. I don't
Right.
care if you're gay. I don't care if I don't give a fuck who you fucking as long as you happy, dog. Like that kind of shit. That thought is progressive, but it's becoming the norm in our culture.
More and more,
And that
yeah.
wasn't the case. And all it is giving people freedom to be themselves.
Yeah, it feels like marriage in particular. And you know, I don't like knocking marriage because I know that you
I now
it
knock marriage. I
that's
now
fair.
knock marriage.
That's fair. I'm just saying,
I,
I still
I
believe
actually,
it can work for people who are like
sure,
who are in the right circumstances and doing it for the right reasons and have the right plan in place. Let me put it that way.
baby. If any of my boys, if any of my boys be like, yo, I'm getting married, I protest. I'm like, my nigga, I'll be at the reception, but I will not be at your wedding
No
because I'm
shit.
not, I'm not going to your wedding, dog. I'm sorry.
No shit.
I'm not going to none of my niggas' weddings. I don't give a fuck. Because I mean, we can talk about why, but I firmly believe that I don't want to be the guy 20 years from now when you be like, why the fuck didn't you? I told your ass, and not only did I tell you, I did not support you in this decision because I firmly believe, though. You know, this is the farce of marriage. I know I'm going off on a little tangent here.
No,
I'm gonna
do
shut
it.
up in a second.
Please do it.
The farce of marriage is this, dog. Especially feminist women that want to get married is the most ass backwards shit that you can possibly think of. Marriage, the roots of marriage were to treat women as property. I'll give you a piece of my land. I'll give you so and so amount of cows or whatever the case, and then I'll give you you give me your daughter's hand in marriage. And
Was it
they
called
used to trade
dowry?
that. Huh?
Was it called dowry? Something like that, right?
Could be the proper term.
Yeah.
I don't have
Yeah.
the proper term for it.
Yeah.
But that's the roots of marriage. That's the roots of it. To compound on that, they want to. Somebody said yes, dowry is correct. To compound on that point, uh, uh, it's a really conservative viewpoint. You get married, have a stable home. What is more foundational in a conservative viewpoint than the government should not be involved in your business? That's a very conservative viewpoint. So you telling me that you want the government to have any kind of dealings in your situation, in your relationship? There makes no fucking sense. The state of Texas has no business on where my penis goes. Zero, dog. Zero. And marriage itself, and so the only way I understand it is if you're religious. If you're religious, there's nothing. I mean, I disagree with your theology for sure, but I understand why you think that marriage is important. But if you're not marrying for religious reasons, I will not support your decision to get married.
So let me
And
ask
I'm
you this:
done.
if all right, so I'm for real. All right, so first of all, having also been through a failed marriage, I have very much changed my views on it,
Or a successful divorce.
or successful. That's thank you. There's another one of those negative connotations I can get rid of. Having been
Right.
through a successful divorce, um, I can tell you that I see things a lot differently now than I did when I was on the other side. And
Right.
it was sort of for me, it was a construct like being raised on like Disney movies and in a Christian household where like
Right.
that was the thing. Like you grow up and you fall in love and you get married, and like that was sort of the finish line, which is just the most inaccurate fucking thing in the world. Like getting married is literally committing to then start working with someone forever, like until you die. Like that's
Yep.
the commitment, because it's literally not natural for human beings to be like, all right, it's just you and me forever, and it's
At
gonna be
fucking
fine. Like
22.
everything's gonna be fine. Like we won't have any issues. Like it'll never come
Right.
up that either of us wants to fuck somebody else, or like we're just gonna pretend that's never gonna happen, and everything's gonna be fine. Which is idiotic. Like at no point did I understand marriage as the. Here's my take. Okay, marriage can still work for people who are genuinely in love only if they are willing to work on their relationship literally and like, I mean, every fucking day forever, and like you almost have to commit to re-falling in love with a new because people change their whole lives. People
Yep.
change into a new
People
person,
grow with each other.
and if you're not willing to then roll with that person, like you have to be committing to going through anything with this person.
Yes.
Like if they decide they want to start, I don't know, quit their job and try to become a tiger trainer, like you have to be cool with that, or you
Yep.
shouldn't be getting married, because the person you're marrying is going to make crazy ass decisions the rest of your life, and so are you, and you're going to need to either line them up together. And that's the thing that's impossible about it, right? That's what makes it so challenging. The thing that I still hold in my
So
head,
childish is what I say.
see, and so the thing I hold in my head though is that if you could make that work, it seems to me that would be the most meaningful relationship you could have with another human being. If you could make it work. Because how could you be closer to another person than to sacrifice so much in the name of caring about them that you literally become like a selfless human being and live like this
And see,
dual thing?
this is why I argue that marriage is not healthy in general, because you're sacrificing a part of yourself for the idea of us.
Sure. I don't think that
That's
part's
not
good,
healthy.
though.
That's what I'm saying. That's not
I
healthy.
think
So
you can do it without that, though.
you think you be married without that?
I think you just have to have the proper structure, like because that idea that when you're married you become two. I mean, two become one, and it's like that's fucking insane. You're
Dumb.
still two
Yes.
individual people, and you're gonna have
Yes.
individual needs that need to be treated as such. And in order to
Yes.
do that, you're gonna have to be able to communicate with each other enough to make sense of it all. But like, I'm still like, I get you, I feel you, but I can't bury it. Like,
Oh yeah, and I don't knock people, right? Like I'm not like fuck you for wanting to get married. I'm just like the institution itself is a trap to me. And I think somebody asked me recently, what do I think of love?
Mm.
And I'm not sold on it. I think it's a thing, but I think that love in general, I think we have romanticized the emotion and we have compartmentalized the emotion. Why the fuck do we have the same word? I love my dog, but I don't love my dog like I love my mother, like I love my lady, like I love my brother. All those are different ways I love people, but it's the same word. Okay, and to get even deeper, the issue I have with love is what we've built up in our head and our expectations of what we think love should be has impacted our relationships. Because what you said is like two people sacrificing who they are and growing together and like
right.
that shit is what women want and yearn for when it might not be a reality. It might not be plausible or probable to think about love in that aspect. Rather than marketing love like that, we should market love like self-love. Love yourself, and whatever obstacles you have with the people that you're in relationships with, you'll be able to handle because you have that love for self. And we market, we romanticize and Disneyfy, taking the word from Clay Travis, we Disneyfy love like this like when when you find the right one, and it's not a thing. Mathematically, it's not a thing. There's more women on this earth than there are men. There's gay people. There's a whole but different spectrum. There's not one person for everybody.
Right. That's the part of it that I grew up believing that, like, now I'm like, well, that was fucking stupid.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, if that's the case, then it took me a long time because I thought, I was when I got married, I was this was gonna be it, and I was gonna like, oh, we'll make it work, and I was like, dog, that was a version of myself that I didn't like, right? I was a
Same shit
version of
happened with me.
I was a version of myself I didn't like. I didn't enjoy being around. I didn't like as a 33-year-old man. Who knows? 10 years, I might not enjoy being around this version. I doubt it because I feel like I'm pretty cool now. But there's no way I could have foresaw 80-year-old Arian having the same like for a person that with a 20-year-old Arian. That's 60 years, dog. 60 years, fam. That's it's not healthy. It's
People
not
do
a
it,
good
though.
thing. Huh?
People do it, though.
People force it, I think. I think there's a small percentage of people, dog, that don't force it. But I
Yeah.
think the rest of them force it, dog. I asked one time I was a bench, some like park bench and like some I think it was a beach. And there was an old couple and they were sitting there. And the lady had walked off and done something, and I was sitting next to the man. I was like, "Hey, man!" Like, I was like, "What's the secret, man? Like, you guys, how long have you been?" Oh, first I asked, "How long have you been married?" He was like, 60 some years. And I was like, "Man, what's the secret, man? Like, what is it?" He said, he looked at me like he was cheap.
Just straight up.
Dog, dog, dog. And I'm like, all right,
Oh no.
I mean, granted that he could be the outlier there, but I'm like, I don't think so because I look at my father. I look, dog. Here's another funny fucking story from an old nigga. My grandmother died in 2010. Okay, they were happily married my whole life. My grandmother and grandfather, beautiful black couple, married their whole life. I wanted that love when I grew up. Same shit. My grandmother died in 2010. We played the New York Jets that week. I flew out to my grandmother's funeral. Flew back, played the New York Jets, flew back to Houston. 2, 3 days later, I got a call from my grandpa. He's like, "Son, I wanna come out to Houston and get out of the house." And I was like, "Yeah." Oh no, we lost. You know why we lost, Raj? Somebody asked, "Did you win?" We don't worry about it. It's anyway. We lost that game.
Wait, no,
Uh,
no. How did we lose? Please, for the Texans fans.
okay, but we lost against the Jets 2010. This is an even a funnier part to the funny story is I grew up. I went to high school in San Diego, California. Right. I grew up loving LaDainian Tomlinson. Like that was my fucking guy. He was playing for the Jets that year. Before the game, I asked him. I was like, "Yo, let's trade jerseys." And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Nigga, I might have a LaDainian Tomlinson jersey, a real one. Like that was my guy." So we go down and we score the game winning touchdown. There's 40 seconds left. They have no timeouts. They're on their 20. They have Mark Sanchez as a quarterback. I'm like, nigga, done. Started unbuckling. I'm like looking for LaDainian. I'm like, okay, he's probably gonna be like around the 30 or 40. I'm looking for LaDainian and shit. Man, 2, 3 plays later, I see a fucking bomb, dog. I'm like, there's no fucking way he caught the ball. Oh my fucking god. And then at that point, and he was out probably like at the 20. I was like, we lost this. Like, there's no way. For whatever reason, that year our defense was giving up the booty, man. Like we had like the number 3 offense in the league. That was the year I led the league in rushing. Our offense was insane. I remember one time. No disrespect to anybody who was on the defense at the time, but like it was what it was. It was floodgates. And so
In this case, numbers do not lie.
fact. So I remember one time we was in an offensive meeting. Like it's frustrating as like having two sides like that sometimes because you could be doing your job, but if the other side isn't doing their job, y'all are taking L's. It is what it is. And like one time we went into the offensive meeting room, and like we had lost like a lot of games in a row. We went like 6-10, but the offense is like balling. Like we putting up 30-some points a game, and Koob comes in there and he was like, "Well, we all know what's going on, man. You just keep doing what you're doing." And I was like, man, what the fuck? Anyway, back to marriage, bro. My grandmother, my grandmother just died.
Wait, did you get the jersey at least?
Yeah, we swapped. Oh, we
Okay,
got it. I got
good.
it. So he calls me 2-3 days after that game, and he goes, he says, "Son, I wanna fly out to Houston just to get out of the house and get away from, I got a lot of memories here." I was like, "Yeah, man, come on, pop, shit, come on, man, I'll fly you out. It's all good." He's like, "Okay, thank you, son." He's like, I gotta tell you something though, son. I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, sometimes, son, people get lonely, man, and every now and then, you got urges as a man." And I was like, "Pop, you got a girlfriend, man?" He's like, "Oh, she's not a girlfriend. She's just a friend, and I'm gonna bring her along too." I was like, "Bring her, dog. It's all good." So 2 weeks after my grandmother passed, this nigga had a thing on the side, and I'm like, "Dog, you 80 years old or some shit. Like you had that on the side already. Like,
Dude, that's also like old people need companionship too.
yeah."
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
No, but the thing about it was, you just don't have an extra 80-year-old on the side, Ross. You had been seeing an 80-year-old on the side, Ross. That's the thing, dog. And so my shit was, all right, cuz if my grandfather, like they've been married for I don't know how many years. That shit that honestly I don't give two shits about that shit because he was a good man, because he just passed too. But my thing is like, who would he have been? Who would he had been if he wasn't locked down in that situation? Because in his generation, it was like you get married young. They got married when they're like 19,
Mm-hmm.
and you make that shit work. And so there's no way he didn't cheat. There's no way she didn't cheat, right? that they just stuck with it. And so my thing is like, if if there was no social contract or legal contract saying we have to be together, then it would allow you to blossom in a way that is much more healthy. Like if we're not working, we could just part ways. Like, listen, like I'm not feeling this anymore. I know you're not anymore. We both feel it. So let's stop pretending. Because a lot of relationships are on the back end of pretending, right? And so if we just honest with ourselves, it's just to me that's all self care is being honest with yourself. How honest am I with how I'm feeling, my emotions, and how I'm treating other people?
No, for
And
sure.
so to me, yeah, and so to me, it's like I would rather just be honest, man. And so I encourage other people to be honest too. And if the reasons why people want to get married, if they're honest about it haven't got shit to do with them. But go ahead, man. I went off on
I
a
can't believe you're
long
not
ass.
gonna come to my second wedding, man. It's like,
Oh, especially if it's your second, I'm not coming. Like I said, I'll go to the reception and turn the fuck up with you, bro.
okay, good,
I
fair
will
enough,
not be there for the fucking jumping of the broom.
fair enough. Um, but yeah,
But when
no,
you got kids, it makes that's a good point though. He makes. He said, but when you got kids, it makes it tough. And
yeah,
let me tell you why it doesn't make it tough. I grew up in a household where they were married and they were miserable. And I was granted there was domestic violence, but they were miserable versions of themselves because they were trying to make it work for us. When they got split, they flourished and blossomed as human beings. And that didn't affect me. It affected me more positively because they were in toxicity, right? And granted, people may be able to hide it better than my parents did. But still, if you're not the best parents are the best versions of themselves. Period. So I urge people, dog, if you gotta take 5 months to go figure your shit out, for it's gonna just impact your kids way more positively than not. Because if you're just miserable and you're just kind of chunking along, they feel that shit.
right.
Dad doesn't want to hang out. He just wants to watch TV. Dad just wants, and I've been there. I'm in the middle of that actually. I'm in the middle of like figuring my shit out and being happy and taking a hiatus for my kids. It's part of life. I'm being the most healthy person for me, dog.
Yeah, the thing I keep telling people is it's the same as like you can't love anybody else till you love yourself. Like you also can't help anybody else or really fucking do anything unless you're
Yeah.
in a mentally good space for
Yep.
yourself first. Like think about it. You can't be good at your job. You can't be a good boyfriend, husband, girlfriend, friend, brother, sister, son, daughter. You can't like if you're not right in your headspace, you are incapable of helping anybody else with anything. And that's been like one of the more motivating things for me in terms of my panic disorder and like the attack I had a couple weeks ago. Just knowing like, well, if I don't fucking get my shit right, then I won't be as good at my show. I won't be as good at my job. My message won't get out the same way. Like I won't be as, I won't talk to my parents as much. Like when my shit's not right, I definitely spend less time focused on my family and like making sure I'm checking in with my mom all the time and shit. Like it the first thing is first, and you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else, and you have to love yourself for sure before you can love anybody else. And like so many of these marriages we see, especially when with people who get married young, like you if you haven't even figured out your own shit and the way to love yourself and like yourself yet, you're totally incapable of having a successful marriage. Like you would,
Yeah.
how in the fuck could you possibly navigate those waters if you haven't even figured out if you like you,
Yeah.
much less another person.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
nah.
that's why they say youth is wasted on the young, man. Like that's why school is ass backwards too, though. Like as a 19-year-old, you know for sure what you want to get into and what you want to study and what you want to, like, you know what I'm saying? As an 18, like nah, like you have to experience life. Like I would advise kids, like, and well, I wouldn't advise kids to do this, but if I had a school system, like an ideal school system situation, that's what I would do. I would say after high school, go get a job, go experience life, go do whatever you got to do, and then take 2 3 years and then come back to school because you have a little bit more understanding of yourself, a little bit more knowledge. But it's also why I'm an extreme critic of parents who are like, once you're 18, dog, get out the house, like you're on your own. Like I hate that shit because it doesn't allow kids to be kids. It makes them grow up faster than they have to. And so I always tell my kids, like, dog, as long as I have a home, you have a home, and figure it out when you figure it out. Because a lot of people, like I grew up with, I mean, I was around a lot of people who felt a lot of shortcomings because I was so successful so young. They felt like they fell short because they were comparing themselves to my success. And that shit was a mental strain on them. It's like, damn, well, he did this. I can't even. I'm 28 years old. I can't even figure this shit out. It's like, you're not supposed to. You're 28. People think only people that think 30 and late 20s and 20s is old is like teenagers, like young cats, and they don't know shit. So why would you take their advice on what's old or what's not old? Like, no, you just now in your 30s, and even there's no rule, but like in just now in my 30s, I'm just now figuring me out,
This
and
is
I
the
lived an
thing.
entire life in front of the camera, and I'm just now figuring me out. Like let that sink in. So like I have to look at old clips of me saying shit in interviews. Like that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Why would you say that?
See,
But it's
I got lucky and like started to figure mine out as like my career got to a place where it was enough people to where it mattered. But like, yeah,
right,
there's definitely like columns I wrote and shit back in the day where if I look at them now, I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
right, yeah,
And you know, like six different versions of me where I was like, now I've got it all figured out, finally. And then like life will just give you another haymaker to show your dumb ass that that is absolutely not the case. Like
yeah,
if you
man,
ever feel so comfortable that you think you know everything, you're fucked because something's
yeah.
coming for
Something's
you.
about to happen.
It's happened to me every single time I've gotten that way where I'm like, oh, we did it, and then I'm like, oh, we didn't do anything at all.
We didn't do it, dog.
Yeah, that shit is hard. Life is like that though, but I mean, that's all perspective. Like all that shit is perspective. I don't understand. This is the thing. I don't understand how we sent like 18-year-olds. Like think about this thing that blows my mind. World War II, like a bunch of 18-year-olds like storming the beaches at Normandy. And these kids don't even that generation just as a whole would they all like you were out of the house at 18, got a job or had a career or were working in the
Yeah,
fucking coal mine or the sock factory or whatever the fuck.
the sock factory.
I didn't figure out like I didn't feel like I was an adult till I was like 28.
Yeah,
Maybe fucking 30. I don't know, man. Like there's days where I still am like shit, I don't know anything.
yeah,
But definitely not until I quit drinking was I even in a place where I could consider myself like a stable, responsible adult. Like and I don't ever want to be all the way adult. Like I want to stay
nah,
a kid and stay learning like my whole fucking life. And that whole concept of like adulthood and tying it into the marriage thing and the Disneyfication of life, and especially in America, I'm not with that. Like, I don't even want that, even if that is a thing. No longer
yeah,
is that something that I desire. Like, I don't want to be in a place where I'm like, this is the path and I can't change off of it. And this is what we're going to do. And even if I'm miserable, I have to stay on this path because this is what people told me I was supposed to do. And that goes
yeah,
back to your whole education thing and then like the way we're brought up and the things we're taught as babies and small children and how influential that shit is in expectations for the rest of our lives. That you know, for me, it took getting to 32 years old before I even considered that, like before I was even like, wait a minute, do I believe everything I was told when I was 4? Oh my god, have I been running my life based off shit I was told as a fucking 4-year-old?
that is the biggest awakening that there is like when you like kind of shake your head one day and you're like, what am I doing? Like why do I do the things that I do? Like what is all this shit for, dog? You know what really helps me like break out of that matrix is every now and then like I'll look outside or I'll be driving on the pavement and I'll see like grass sprout out of the pavement. And I'm like, nigga, none of this shit is supposed to be here. Like we made all this shit up, dog. If you take out the metropolis and nigga, there is just land here and forest and trees and wildlife. And it's like all the rest of the shit that goes inside of this, we made all that up. We made all this shit up. The marriage, the job, all that shit is made up. None of this shit is a real thing. And so,
There's a shit ton of human constructs in place. I will agree with that. Like there's a lot of human constructs in place that are simply there to keep you from like either thinking freely or acting freely. and neither of those things seem healthy to me at all. Like you and me, we for sure differ in some ways. Like I haven't buried marriage yet. I'm still in on God,
Fucking
but
both both of them in a nice, comfy little casket together.
from like a bigger picture standpoint, though, I think we're trying to accomplish the same things, even with different theologies. I think you could still try. Like I struggle with. I don't have organized religion. I have buried. Right? Like I grew up in a very like a Baptist giant mega church in Houston, dude. At Second Baptist Church. I'm sure you heard of it at some point or seen the commercials
Is
when
that
you were
the
playing. Ed
is that
Young,
the
not that fucker, not the guy in the Summit,
Joe Osteen?
not that motherfucker. No,
Okay.
a different motherfucker who has, now that now looking back in hindsight, like a lot of the shit that he spoke when I was very influential, like when I was a still very malleable like young mind, was problematic, man. He said a lot of shit about gay people that it was wrong. Like with this
Yeah.
fucking just straight up, like not even wrong, like evil.
Yeah.
Like trying to define being gay as a sin that disallows you from somehow being a part of a church is fundamentally flawed in its logic. If you're gonna go off of the Bible, which literally reads that God judges all sins equally, how in the fuck, even if you wanted to count being gay as a sin, how the fuck is that? You're not gonna let gay people into your church, but I can say fuck over and over and I'm allowed in when that's allegedly a sin? Or like every once in a while I get mad and throw shit? Like, is that a sin? I stole a candy bar when I was 8. Is that gonna keep me out of the church? But
What
if
the
it's all the
hell,
same,
dog?
it's all the same. But we would have this old dude up on the pulpit teaching us that if you were gay, you were damned to the fires of hell. Saying that shit to thousands and thousands of people every Sunday. It's like, what the fuck? The fuck?
Yeah,
That
that's
doesn't even
wild.
match up in the book you're teaching us. How am I supposed to trust a single other word you say?
Well, that's. I mean, you're preaching to the choir here.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying that's. Tell me why, Sway? But I'm serious. Like it just again that was another life experience thing where it took me to a certain age and a certain amount of perspective and stories and experiences before I could sit there and look at like all this shit I'd been taught that was flagrantly false.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think at the end of the day, dog. Like, so my goal now, people are like, yo, what do you aspire to do? You successful, so like, what is your aspirations now? I was like, dog, my goal now is very simple, dog. It's to wake up and to be happy, and that sounds hella lame and hella corny and hella cliche,
Sounds
but
awesome.
it is a real fucking. That's what I do. I wake up every day, but like, I'm gonna do whatever makes me happy today. Sometimes I play video games all day. Sometimes I just lay in the bed all day. And granted, I'm very privileged and very. I have. It's a luxury that I have worked for, but that also that I was. It was bestowed upon me. I didn't ask for this athletic talent, but I worked my ass off. But to me, this is the epitome of what human beings should aspire to be. Not wealthy, happy. Find a way to be happy in general. And part of my problem with society and people in general is that we have created this world where there's nothing but blockades set up for people to not be happy. Like that's all this shit is. It could be so simple, but we make it so difficult.
Mm.
Thousand different ideologies why, but my goal is just that. My goal is to wake up and like find some kind of happy somehow, some way.
What before we like switch off a serious mode and you want to run some Warzone or something in a few minutes?
Yeah. Let me see if I could
Or what have
load
you
that
been
bitch
fucking with
up.
other than Valorant?
Why don't you fuck with Valorant, man?
I'm not trying to run that Vanguard system now. I got the whole Chinese government in my computer, man. Fuck all that.
Fam, there's no privacy. If you on the internet, nigga, they watching, dog.
I know. That's true enough, especially with my job.
I'm positive that I have Call of Duty. I just don't know if there's an update. Let me see. Let me check and
There
see if there's
almost
an update.
definitely is. There's an update every damn day at this point.
Yeah, yeah. It says initializing, so we'll see.
But
Installing required files.
so with your panic attack shit, and you said they diagnosed you with generalized anxiety disorder, right?
Yeah.
So like when you wake up in the morning, like what do you feel? Like these days, I guess. Last week
Right.
or so.
It depends. It usually depends on what's transpired the previous day. If how long it's been going on, what I did, diet. You know what I really noticed is crazy is like if I overeat, that kicks up my anxiety. So like if I feel really full in my stomach, that can trigger a panic attack. Wild, dog.
Weird. That is weird.
Really wild.
It's
I
funny to me
think
how everybody has these different triggers with the panic attack stuff, though.
right. So I didn't know that was a trigger, but my some niggas say eat healthier. It reminded me of that old joke that said I went to the doctor, said it hurts when I do that. He said, well then don't do that. But uh I went to the heart doctor originally in January, and he was like, I don't think you have anything wrong with your heart. I think you have something called leaky gut syndrome. And what leaky gut syndrome is like there's the lining of my stomach, there's like some holes in it. And so I don't know if you ever heard like this, but they talk about your gut like being a second brain.
Right.
Like there's literally bacteria in there, and there's things going on that you're like unconsciously aware about, subconsciously aware about. And so it's like when like if you go down on a roller coaster, right? That fight or flight happens, but where else does it happen? I mean, it happens in your brain, but where else does it happen?
Your
It happens
stomach
in your
drops.
stomach. Yeah, it's you get that's for that butterfly thing because they call it like a leaky brain, but the stomach and the brain are really connected. Anywho, this this leaky stomach syndrome, or leaky gut syndrome. What it is I have like a holes in the lining of my stomach, and they'll uh if like sometimes like food or bacteria, whatever the case, can leak out, and like it'll like almost like trigger like a neural response that's like almost immediate, and I get that feeling that like if you go down a roller coaster, I get that feeling like if I eat too much. That I get that feeling sometimes, and that shit triggered, and that makes my chest heavy, and that makes me breathe hard, and so I had to like mitigate my diet and had to really change what I ate, and so like that's why I dropped like a whole bunch of weight because I was getting ridiculous, especially with the quarantine. But I dropped a lot of weight, and I also toned back up because I started working out again. But I started eating healthier. So all of this is kind of like what I was saying earlier. It's like when you have any kind of mental health issue, you have to have like a game plan. You have to set the game plan in place, and you have to execute it on various different like levels and different avenues because it's like a whole. You don't have mental health issues because of one thing. Usually, usually it's like an accumulation of a lot of factors, and so you have to attack it in a bunch of different factors. So like, it's long answer to your question is like when I wake up, um, I assess my situation. Can I breathe regular? Can I not breathe regular? Okay, today seems like it's going to be a good day. Some days I'll be like my chest feels heavy and I just lay there. Some days I feel great and I pop up, and then it comes on later on. So it's just I assess my situation. I load.
You
I do a
feel like
system hardware check.
since you've started eating better and like working out again, is it like has it diminished how much you're suffering?
Yes, yes. Because I would say about 3 weeks ago, it was every day, every single day. I felt like shit. I couldn't breathe. My chest was heavy, and I would do things. I was playing video games and stuff to distract me. Like I remember, it wasn't too long ago, or I don't know if anybody's in the chat that remembers. I had a panic attack on stream. Like I was playing a game, and I was like, "Oh no, it's here. I'm having one. This is it." And I finished the game out, and I was like, "All right, man, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off, y'all. I'm gonna holler at you." Um, but it's an everyday thing. But like you said, when I started eating a little healthier, started working out a little bit more, started talking to my psychiatrist, uh, practicing not being negative to myself or others, right? Um, Spending a lot of time off my phone, that helps too, because I think we're consumed with that shit.
The phone in
Getting some,
2020 is a nightmare.
yeah, man, getting some outside, going outside like in nature, letting my feet hit the ground, that feels good. Feet in the
That
grass,
shit's huge for me.
smelling air, yeah.
Oh fuck. One of the things. Well, that's first of all, that's awesome, and I'm very happy to hear that because it's like the hardest thing to do when you start having this shit is to start implementing changes that help. And like once you've gotten past that part, it's really just a matter of what you just said, which is like assessing day to day and attempting to do the best you can to put yourself in the best position mentally possible or whatever. Um, and for me, like I said, the one that I'm still having to struggle with the most is sleep. That's the one I'm
Right.
still like, I've got fitness is back, eating the healthiest I've eaten probably in my life. And it's just a matter of like going to fucking sleep on time and trying to get good
Yeah.
sleep.
But it's
Um,
tough, man. It's like a never ending cycle. I mean we didn't sign up for it, but we're here for the long haul, you know what I mean?
and then, well, it's also like finding ways to. I mean, you found one already, right? Like you and me having this conversation is something that makes a whole bunch of other people who are listening or watching realize that they're not alone with their own personal struggles or whatever. Even if it's not the
Yeah.
same as ours or yours isn't the same as mine or vice
Yeah.
versa, it's comforting to know that there are other people who struggle with this shit. One of the biggest
Yeah.
moments for me out of this past couple weeks, since I sort of had to get reintegrated with like, it's almost like a harsh reminder in my, and the way I frame it up is like from God, a harsh reminder that like, I'm still not in control, and that I still have this thing, panic disorder, and that if I
Yeah.
don't take care of my shit, it could still hit me. Um, and then like taking that and turning it into a positive is the hardest thing to do. And
Yeah.
it's the thing that we're doing right here. And it's like, step one, take care of yourself. Step two, like, all right, I'm dealing with this thing that sucks ass, that's really had an effect on me. Like, what can I do to try to help people who are in this same boat? Because, like you spoke to it at the beginning of the stream, when you had your first one, just like when I had my first one, I always compare it to the time I took acid when I was fucking 18, because I took LSD and I tripped my balls off for 12 hours. I had no idea your brain could do that shit. That your brain could have, that
I
you
want to
could
do this shit so bad.
hallucinate, that you could, like, I had no clue. So it was like this moment where it clicked for me, like, oh my God, all those scenes in movies where they try to convey, like, what it's like when you're on drugs, that they're trying to convey this. Until you have a panic attack, it's not a thing you can, like, believe in or, like, explain, really. And then you just have to sort of do what you can to adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
And oh, but my point was, I found this fucking. I googled panic disorder symptoms. All right, and it's like the
Oh, I
first thing that
never
pops
Googled my
up.
symptoms.
This shit helped me so much
Oh, okay,
because
because
it
that
said
shit.
it's like here are the symptoms of panic disorder, and there's 12 things on a list. I think 10 of them. I was like, that's me, 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 and it just immediately normalized the entire experience for me. Like,
Mm.
if enough people have had this shit to where the most generic website in our government's health system pops up to tell me here's exactly what you're experiencing, that many people have had it to where they have it down to a T. It's like, well, clearly it's not special. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Clearly I'm not alone in the struggle of it. Clearly it's not something I'm gonna fucking die from. And every time now when I feel like I'm starting to build, I'll pull up that list and I'm like, I'm good, dude. Also, I just chunk like 3 ice cubes in my mouth. For some reason that helps. Your brain can't focus on like too many different fucking things. So you just
Right.
like mash ice cubes up against your teeth and it takes away some of the stress of focusing on the fact that you're spiraling into a freak out, basically.
Man, no, I mean that makes sense, man. I've tried different things before. One time I was watching John Wick and I started having one,
It's an
and
intense ass movie.
it was dope, man. But I got to finish it because I ended up having one. But there was a point where in during the panic where I was like, you know what, fuck it, bro. I'm gonna die. Like fuck it. I literally said fuck it, and whatever happens, happens. And I just like let go of every muscle, and I was like, fuck it. If you're gonna take me, you can take me. And it ended up going away like really fast. It was really wild, actually. Uh,
I've never been able to do that. I've tried. I'm
yeah, I mean,
telling you.
I haven't done it since then because I always fight it. My natural instinct was fight it. But at that, for whatever reason, that particular point, I was like, you know, dog, I'm so sick of this shit. Fucking kill me. I don't give a fuck. Fuck it. I'm dying. Whatever. And I just let go, and that shit went away. And I was like, damn.
Who the
But it's
fuck?
not easy to do. Like I had to get there to a point where like I'm fed the fuck up of this goddamn panic.
But who are
And I
you
was like,
talking to when you say fuck it then take me?
myself? Oh, I wasn't a god thing. No, it was
I mean
just
that's
like
what I'm
a.
saying though. You still frame it up like something out there, right?
No,
Whether it's
I
a
was like,
universe or whatever.
I was more anthropomorphizing the panic attack. So I was like giving it characteristic.
Got you,
And if
got you,
you
got you.
gonna fucking take me, nigga, like kill me, like that's kind of thing.
I
It
spoke
wasn't
to
like
somebody the other day who the way they combat it similarly is like they externalize it and turn it into something they can address, like you just said, basically,
mm,
to
yeah,
where.
yeah.
But in their case, this individual was explaining to me that they try to show it grace and be kind to it, which was so hard for me to even wrap my head around. I was like,
Oof.
because I hate this shit.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, you see, even that though,
You
like,
have disdain for it. Like like
yeah,
it's yeah.
but even saying like, I don't know, I just feel like it's something to that, like you being like, take me then, motherfucker. That's like obviously it worked in that instance, but it's like something about that, like the negative side to it, you can flip it, and
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it because I still haven't been there. But like I listen to other people speak on it, like Bill Hader. You ever watch Barry on HBO or seen Bill Hader on SNL? He's fucking hilarious. Anyway,
Mm-mm.
doesn't matter. Like a genius comedian, writer person. He said the same shit. Whenever he has anxiety, he treats it like it's a little fucking troll that's like crawled up on his shoulder, and he just acknowledges that it's there, and is like, "All right, well, you're riding with me today, and this is the shit that we're doing." And he figures out a way to
That's dope.
externalize it like that to where he puts himself back in the driver's seat, basically.
Mm,
And I admire people who have
damn.
that ability, but I don't have it yet. I'm still working on it.
Wow. No, that's actually really dope. I'm gonna try that one next. All
Just
right, little homie. What we doing today?
that's what this fool
That's
does.
fire.
Apparently he's done his whole
That's
fucking
fire.
career.
Man, so no, that was a great goddamn conversation, fam.
Hey, I appreciate you very much for taking the time.
Likewise, brother. Likewise. Let's try to hop up this Call of Duty real quick. Hold on, let me see. I know this shit finna be loud as fuck, man. So they didn't say there was any update, man. I know I tried to open it the other day and there was an update, so maybe that was it.
Maybe you're good. I'll
It's
fire mine up.
see, my thing is every time I try to play this shit on stream, yep, that shit is hella loud. Sorry, stream. Every time I try to play this uh
Warzone,
on
Call of Duty.
stream, like I just
Yeah.
drop mad frames. On my screen it's fine, but on stream it's just the frames like they can't watch it.
So you got to change up the settings, the visual settings in the actual game itself. So any of these like I mean really Valorant is the only one that you don't have to change a damn thing because it's so like simply built that you don't have to fuck with any of
Because
that.
it's such an amazing game,
It is
bro.
badass. I'm not knocking Valorant at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm just fully addicted to Warzone at this point, so it's like all I
I
can
got you.
screw with right now.
At least you're honest about shit.
And
That's all I'm talking
I played Counter Strike a shit ton as a kid. That was like the game that got me into gaming. And Valorant is essentially Counter Strike mixed with like Overwatch.
that's what everybody says. Yeah,
Yeah. So the second I played Valorant, I was like, it took me back to being like 14 years old, bro. I was like, this is the fucking greatest game ever. I just am too sucked into Warzone at the moment.
I got you. I got you. We can get into Warzone. Hold on, let me change my Hold on, let me make sure my settings is good first, bro. Okay, options,
So like, yeah, I guarantee you that's where you need to change
multiplayer.
at.
All right. I don't need to read the patch notes because nigga, I played this shit so little. Close. There we go. Options. Okay, we go to graphics. Would it be
Yeah,
graphics?
go to graphics. Let's see. So render resolution. What number do you have?
See, like there's lag already in my video.
No shit.
Every time I open up, boy, it's the only game this shit happens with, dog.
What the fuck?
But there's gotta be a reason.
So
Anybody?
I'm gonna read you off the shit on my graphics that it says. Render resolution is 81. Aspect ratio is
Okay, hold on.
oh
I got
yeah,
a
yeah.
hundred. Let's go to 81.
Yeah. Aspect ratio is automatic.
Hold on. I'm gonna turn this shit way down because it should be yeah like 1080. I don't fucking know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, let's go to
81 is
81.
whatever they put that shit on for me and it worked.
Okay. Game looks fine. It's camera. Yeah, so they're saying the camera is like hella laggy, but it's
Only
because the game's on.
only when you run Warzone. That's fucking strange as
Shit
fuck,
weird,
though.
dog. They don't fuck with me, man. Okay, that's the aspect ratio.
Yeah, that's automatic. The one below
Okay.
that, sync every frame, VSync, disable that.
Okay. It was on VSync. Maybe did that do it? That shit crazy, right? Thank you so much. Hey,
The
Adrian said what's up.
oh, what's up?
He said what's up. Hey,
The
did you find my phone? I mean nah, I've been chilling, but
the baby stole it.
no, nah, she does do that and she hides shit, bro.
Nvidia
Uh,
highlights, disable
what
that
about
shit.
custom frame limit?
It just says custom for me.
Okay, do custom. NVIDIA highlights
Disabled.
disabled. Restart shaders installation. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
So then you can scroll down
Hold
to
on, bro. Hold on. We're gonna
yeah,
do
yeah.
all of these.
Okay,
Display
okay.
gamma.
2.2.
Okay. Texture resolution.
I've still got everything in here. High, enabled,
Okay.
and near.
Okay. Bet. All right. We're gonna go to shadow map resolution.
So this is where shit starts to get changed up. Shadow map is normal,
Okay.
but then
Normal.
disable spot shadows, disable sun shadows. I've got DirectX ray tracing disabled. Particle lighting is still
What
on
about
ultra. I don't know why.
it's on ultra?
Still, yeah.
All right. Disable DirectX. Use low.
I was just told by the chat to turn particle lighting off also, so I put that on low.
Okay. Low.
Uh,
DirectX disabled. Ambient occlusion.
it says both for me.
Okay. Screen space reflection. What the fuck? Is a regular nigga supposed to know all this shit, bro?
Hell
What the
no,
fuck?
dude. Somebody walked me through this shit. Um, that's high for me.
Okay.
Then anti-aliasing says filmic SMAA 2
Yep.
T2X. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yep. Depth of
Depth of
field.
field is enabled. Filmic strength is 1.00.
Yep.
World motion blur is disabled.
Yep.
Weapon motion blur is disabled.
Film grain.
And film grain is 0.
Oh, okay.
My chat is saying that your stream is looking better now.
It's looking better already.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, that's what they saying.
And then remember to hit apply settings at the bottom or all that'll go away.
Yeah. Right. Hold on. Everybody saying yo, all that shit need to be on low, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it because I have problems with this shit anyway. It got worse. They saying. Camera's still lagging. I don't know, bro. What about yours? Let me see. Do something. Nah, you straight.
What?
VSync. They saying. What the fuck is VSync?
VSync was. I think you disabled that already.
Yeah, it's disabled. I don't know what the fuck. Call of Duty has nothing to do with my camera though. Render resolution. Let's see.
I think dude, your camera was being a little finicky before we started the Call of Duty shit.
Not on my end though.
Mm.
That might have just been regular internet shit. Frames needs to be unlimited. Menu. See out of focus frame. See this shit here, bro. What is this? Game. Go to custom frame rate limit.
Graphics.
They telling me VSync needs to be enabled.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Difference of opinion. Where the fuck is my custom thing at? Oh, here it is.
He's saying, okay, never mind. Unlimited on that. Okay, never mind. All right, we'll see. Is that? No, that shit's still fucked up. Maybe if I Does that help? What about that? What about that? What about... Oh, is that it? Did I do it? I think that did it. He said, "Never mind, disable VSync." What the fuck, Raj? You bugging? But it looks like it's straight now, right?
On my end, you look good.
Thank you, man.
No problem.
They're saying disable VSync now. I don't know what the fuck it was.
Now you're blurry for me again. What the fuck?
I'm blurry.
Yeah.
Close the door. Fuck, where's VSync? Okay, there it goes. They're saying disable it. Okay. The unlimited did it. I don't know, man. Custom caps frame displayed. Man, I don't know, bro.
Now you look good again. Who the fuck knows?
Thank you. I just don't understand what Call of Duty has to do with my camera. It has nothing to do. Now it's bad. Enable VSync. They're saying, what the fuck?
Hey, Arian, here's what I'm gonna do. Just cause I haven't fucking eaten dinner yet, I'm gonna hop off, go eat, let you fuck with your Call of Duty shit if you want to, or if you just say fuck it and hop on Valorant, that's cool too.
Okay.
And I'll pop back on and try to holler at you when you're in a game.
Let me know, dog. I think I got it though. By the way.
Did you?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, let's run one then. Fuck it.
Yep. All right, let's run one. I did get it though. I think. Yep. Everybody's saying it's good.
So top right, what is your Activision name up there?
It's Bobby Feeno, no space, and then hashtag 878-3867.
Invite sent.
Boss Roller wants to be your friend.
Look at that.
Okay, how do we? Oh, accept. Got you. All right, I think we're friends, dog.
I just invited you to the party, and we'll run a fucking duo.
My shit funny as hell.
See what we can do.
All right, let's do it. I ain't changing shit because I don't know shit.
I'll be right back. I gotta piss.
Do that. But do that. Do that. Let me change this to Call of Duty. Bang, we should be updated now. All right. You know what's really dope, chat? Is this camera setup. How we have both our cameras in this shit. We just figured out how to do this shit today. I didn't know how to do that shit before. Like, it's one thing to, like, talk to somebody on Discord and show it to y'all, but, like, to play a game with it and shit, that shit's pretty dope. And I don't know, I ain't played this shit in a minute, man, so I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, Discord is the shit,
Holding
James.
for deployment. Take this time to warm up.
Now, this is just a loading screen, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's a little practice area.
See what I'm saying, bro? It's been so long.
Yeah, this game's fun as hell though. But yeah, this is a little practice area right here.
Shit. Oh, niggas is plugging me and shit.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Yo, this camera shit is dope as fuck, dog.
No, this is very cool. We need to do this.
All right, is this the real one?
Now you
Yeah,
deploy
now
to
we're
war
gonna
zone.
be deploying.
Molotov!
Yeah, we're good now. Now we're gonna be
Oh,
deploying.
shit, son. Oh shit.
All right, don't jump yet. Hold up.
Now you tell me where I'm. I'm riding you on this one, dog. Cause I don't know where the fuck I'm new booty, fresh fish.
I got you.
Battle Royale. Set a drop point for your team.
Mark some gear.
All right, so you see
You
that
got
flag
gas
all the way
closing
over
in
there?
fast. Get to the safe
Just
zone.
mark it on the map.
Yeah. We are gonna jump like in like 20 seconds.
But like mark it on the map though.
You should see it. Top left. You don't see that yellow
Oh.
flag?
Yeah, no, I had the. Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
there you go.
Let me know.
All right, so jump now.
I am jumped, dog.
All right, so like when your dude starts looking like he's slowing down, pull your chute again, and then cut it again, and you'll fly faster, basically. But don't cut it too much or you'll get too low and land way short.
I'm definitely gonna be short after this.
Yeah, I think I am too. So fuck it, let's go over here.
Moving here.
Where? Okay, bet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be short on that too. It'll be alright. Maybe. Oh shit. Okay, how do you get guns and shit?
Hunt the enemy down.
For me it's E.
I'm saying like where?
Oh, they're in the buildings and shit.
Oh. I got some money.
Hey, take this fucking thing.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Alright.
And then press 4. Strap that hoe on.
Okay, strap.
LMG here.
There's a gun up here for you. Oh, we're gonna get absolutely wrecked,
Like
chat.
this gun is shit. Is it shit?
I don't know.
LMG here.
This one up here is definitely not shit, though. I know that.
Alright, so it's kinda like Fortnite where they
Yeah, basically, okay, so like your top left radar, you'll see whenever somebody shoots
Hey, my
shots
nigga,
near
hold
us.
on. Where did you go, bro?
Oh, I'm right next to you, so I'm just running around this building looting shit.
Okay, well I gotta. You just jump? Can you get hurt?
If you jump off the top, you can get hurt. You gotta be careful.
Well, how did you get down so fast?
I pulled my chute.
How you do that?
So whenever you jump off the roof, you can like, hold up, I think it's spacebar?
Oh.
Yeah, when you jump off the roof, if you hit spacebar, it'll redeploy your chute so you like float down.
They saying I gotta change my FOV. What does that mean?
Field of view. So go options. Damn, general.
Okay.
And mine's at 120.
Okay. Mine's at 80, so I'll go to 120. Okay, bet. Alright. Yeah, we should be good.
Alright, I'm hanging with your ass, keeping you alive.
Let's get
Let's see, where the fuck should we go?
got a gun. I should be good.
You're losing ground.
Circle closing, my nigga. Let's rock.
We are in that bitch already, thankfully. But let's go over to this flag. So, like, basically, this game, the name of the game is getting $10,000. So we have 4,300. You have 500. You get $10,000 and you can buy a loadout drop, which in your case won't matter all that much because you don't have them like.
It's America. You were just born with more, Ross. You just fucking.
Oh man, but then if your loadouts were set, oh, just a good ass gun. Get that. Drop that other one that looks like that one and take that one.
Hold on,
instead.
wait, hold on. This one say epic. This should say common.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
That's a fucking lie. Forget that. The Bruin
Sure?
is a good ass gun.
We're good. Everyone's in the safe zone.
Yeah,
But that one's purple, cuz I'm just saying.
I know. I pick up gold ones in this game that suck though. It's not like Fortnite where they're like straight up with their gun rankings.
I ain't dogging with you. Let's get it.
Oh, some people have been over here.
How do you crouch all the way down?
Mine is C.
Oh no, that's
It used to be Z for me. Hold down Z and see if that works.
no.
Fuck.
Oh, it's
There
G.
you go.
I got you.
Ah, G.
I don't know when I changed these fucking settings, but they're changed.
Let me get up on this roof. There's gotta be dudes around here somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know this map or nothing, so I'm just out here.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Can we shoot it? Bro, it's been.
Where's this stupid little contract I'm trying to get? Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Move to the next area and secure the perimeter.
Was I supposed to
Alright.
get that?
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
I'm glad you walking me through this, dog. 'Cause I have no fucking idea.
Guys right in front of us. Ah!
Oh, we got hit from behind.
Oh!
That's booty, and he sucks too. Jesus
Good
Christ.
news is you get to be in
If
the
you
gulag.
survive, you earn your freedom.
I have played, and I do know what the gulag is.
Oh yeah. Best part of the game.
A fight has started.
It's too much pressure. It's too
Punch
much
the
pressure
enemy
trying
while
to
you're waiting. Words are effective.
fucking
Hey,
gulag
Rock,
in
you might have made
here.
me a fan of this game a little bit.
Now's a
I'm
fight.
telling you, this is one where like the more you play it,
Get
the
ready.
more
You're next.
all games, but the more you play this one. When I first played it, I sucked ass.
Yep, that's where I'm at right now. Okay, I'm right now in the gulag.
Win this fight and you return to the front line. But if you lose, you're done. Earn your way out.
Got his ass, sucker. I won. Did you win yours?
Yes, sir.
Stand by for redeployment.
Let's get it. All right, where you dropping?
Definitely not back on that fucking place we were before.
Move it.
Over there?
And so you lose all your shit too, huh?
Yeah.
All right, bro, I'm following you, bro.
Disregard that. Move
Oh shit, a helicopter just exploded.
it. Offline.
Wanna get in a helicopter?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I almost died right there. Hold on. How you get
This is such a bad idea.
Hold on, cuz. Go get it the heli without me, bro.
Such a bad
Friendly
idea.
drop back on the way.
Hold on 1 second.
Enemy UAV overhead.
How the fuck do you get on top? Hold on, dog. Hold
You've
on.
got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Where's it going?
Bro, I can't get on top of that thing.
Dude, get out of there. I'll pick you up on the ground.
Okay, bet. I'm over here. Can you ping anything?
Right.
Oh no! Oh god, I almost exploded. Alright, I'm other side of the building. See the blue, look top left? See the blue helicopter?
Yeah. Easy wave, bro. Easy wave. Let's get it. Bitch!
No!
Damn!
They hit us up this time. We will settle the score.
Oh,
Oh, he
fuck.
seen me too.
Son of a bitch.
Are you still in the thing?
Nah, I died.
Shit. Sorry, man.
Hey,
This shit can be fun playing with other people.
alright. I have to go eat something or I'm gonna fucking
No, go
die.
eat. Go eat and hop off, bro.
I'm gonna go
Are
eat.
you gonna get on for sure?
I will
Later
be
on?
back on in like 30 minutes, yeah.
All right, bet. Cause I'm gonna grab some food too then.
Alright, man. Hey, great talk. Pleasure
Beautiful.
streaming with you, talking with you as always, and I'll see you back on in a little bit.
Yep, we're gonna hop on, brother.